lineup of SUVs, from Bronco Sports and Explorers right up to the Ford Expedition, and Ford trucks from the Ford Maverick, Ranger, F-150, and Super Duty. Ford employee pricing is the biggest event on the Nisku Ford calendar. But hurry, it won't last forever, and inventory is limited. Take advantage of employee pricing today at Nisku Ford. Above expectations.
Recently, our company softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Well, Dale and I are very different. I get early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Thanks, Bet365.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. 18 plus all. T's and C's apply.
Your old golf clubs are suddenly worth a whole lot more. The Callaway 2x trade-in bonus event is happening now through September 8th at the Leduc Golf Club Pro Shop. Trade in your old clubs, and they will double their value, giving you up to $825 towards brand new Callaway equipment. Experience the unmatched performance of new Apex irons, Quantum drivers, or the Reva Rise series. Don't miss this limited time offer. Upgrade your game at the Leduc Golf Club Pro Shop today.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Launches high in the air toward the Dodger bullpen. And the Dodger bullpen.
On Sports 1440.
Fly ball to right field. To the corner goes Fernando. At the wall. Makes the run. Up into the air. Brings it down.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Here's Clark. Step back three. It's good.
It's just after 2 o'clock. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. We appreciate it. If you are able to, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, join the chat. The Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, tonight, being Wednesday, you got the Lotto 649, $14 million jackpot. Go check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. We've also got the Jason Gregor Show specials, deck selects. We'll get to those in a second. Remember, when you gamble, use your game sense. Stay within your limits. The picks tonight for our boosted special. We're going back-to-back, maybe? How about it? Jays money line, Okamoto home run. Why not? We've also got the favorite special. That's Dodgers to win, Brewers to win, and Astros to win, and deck select. We're trying to get back on the winning side of things here. The Mystics and the Valkyries, both to get the job done. Boosted, of course. PlayAlberta.ca. Check out the Jason Gregor Show special. I'm Connor Halley, sitting in for Jason today. We got Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan, and young Connor, the intern, here in the studios. We'll get you through the rest of your Wednesday afternoon, approaching the midpoint of the work week. For a lot of you guys, we're already there. If you work that 9 to 5, you're already there. We're going to see the weekend in the future. It'll be a fun one. We get going on Friday night. Elks and Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Going to be a very good game, I think, down at Commonwealth. Weather holds up. We'll be giving tickets away on the show today, so make sure you keep it locked here for that. And we do have a very busy program coming up for you. We'll kick things off in about 15 minutes' time with Tyler Yaremchuk from Daily Faceoff Edmonton, formerly Oilers Nation. Ben Raven will come by and talk a little Detroit Lions. We planned to have him on yesterday, but he had just bought tickets for the new Spider-Man movie. So he was preoccupied. So we're getting him on today. Nick Anderson, Edmonton Elks middle linebacker, going to join us. Lots of things to talk about with Nick. Or we're going to go back into his early football days. Played both sides of the ball, a little running back. Went the JUCO route. Played with a guy who won a couple national championships. And obviously then went to Tulane, had a very good season his senior year. They were 12-2, I believe. had a really good run. He spent some time with the New Orleans Saints before coming up to Edmonton, where he won Rookie of the Year, and he's had a good season. The team has had a good season. They've battled through some injuries. I want to talk to him about the depth on this team and what he's seen, the coaching staff in year 2, and then for him also getting out there on the offensive side of the ball. He was out there, I only noticed it a couple times for short yardage situations, but I want to talk to him about that. And, could we see play action pass maybe at some point, get him the football? We saw J.J. Watt catch a few touchdown passes in his time. Why not Nick Anderson? We'll get to the Oil Report, the roundtable. Jason Strudwick will drop by. We'll talk Elks, Oilers, and more with him. Maybe a little bit of his New York Giants spec. We got Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. And we got the request out for a couple other NFL guests. So if that does land, we might go down to Denver, potentially Chicago. We'll see how it all plays out. You can always reach us, 1-833-401-1440, or send me an email, connor@sports1440.ca. Of course, Declan Kruger along for the ride as well. Deck, midway through the week, how you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Yeah, that Tulane team, that was the team that beat USC in, which bowl was it? I forget what it was, but it was a big bowl game, and it was kind of like a coming out. It was a terrible look for Lincoln Riley, but it was a huge coming out party for the G6. So
yeah, that was a pretty good run. They beat UCF handily in the championship game, I think, for the conference. And went on a pretty good run there. And low key, some of the nicest uniforms in college football.
Tulane?
I love
those.
Oh,
for sure.
I love the look. And the logo is unbelievable.
Do you know what the nickname for Tulane is?
Green Wave?
I think yes, but like the nickname for the actual school, and I don't know if it's like a tongue-in-cheek joke or not, but they call it the Harvard of the South.
Oh, really?
No idea if that's like like I said, a joke or not, but yeah.
Well, I think Nick had like a 4.0 GPA.
Really?
Maybe that was high school. I think pretty sure he was very, very good grade-wise. He played with Tyjae Spears there, who had a pretty good season, you might say, had 1,500 yards. And has been very good in the NFL. Didn't Teresa Walker tell us he was the last, he's had 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons or something? Or no, that was Tony Pollard. Sorry.
Yeah, that was Tony.
Well, we wouldn't give him the fake praise there. Chris Brazel II was on that team.
Do you remember Chris Brazel from his CFL days? Little razzle dazzle brazzle?
No, now that you say that, vaguely.
Yeah. He was really good.
Chris Brazel II. Where's he playing now? Carolina Panthers. Wasn't he just drafted too? So he might have been like a freshman on that 2022 team. Who did Razzle Dazzle Brazzle play for?
I remember him most as a bomber.
Now we're going to have the Matt Damon meme where he goes back in time on or gets old really quickly. But yeah, Chris Brazel II. Tulane for a couple years. Then went to Tennessee, became a 3rd-round pick. I believe suffered knee-ending surgery or had knee-ending surgery at the end of July. But it all leads back to the CFL. I hate
played
that
for Edmonton for 2 years as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
2001, 2002, yeah.
Excellent. It just makes me feel old when these guys start having their children pop up. Andre Kovalenko's son was playing hockey now.
Oh, dude, there was one recently that was really hit me hard. I forget who it was, but it was I can't even remember. But there was one, and I was like, he has a kid who's playing college football.
Yeah,
that it'll shock you, man. It'll make you grow up quick.
It's and a guy who's been out of football for 5 years, but he's 37. No, he has a kid who's 18 and going into the pro or the collegiate ranks. Very cool for him. Making the rest of us feel a little bit older. It is the text line 1-833-401-1440. The Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger sitting in today. Of course, with the NFL season, there just continues to be these injuries popping up everywhere in training camp. Yesterday, it was the Chargers' turn to lose their center, Tyler Biadasz, who, a weird play, had his left guard throw a 49er into his knee, and it seems like just shredded it. That's not good. Today, the big one is for Jaden Higgins and the Houston Texans, a guy who I think they were hoping to take that next step up. He suffered his ACL. That was during a joint practice with the Vegas Raiders, falling awkwardly in the end zone during 11-on-11. So, it's football. These injuries are going to happen, no matter what. But it sucks to see. Alvin Kamara is going to be out for about a month. Their rookie receiver, Tyson Jordan, he's going to be out for up to 2 months. So just a lot of things going on. If you are a fan of the Seattle Seahawks, Trayvon Diggs Now, the former Dallas Cowboy Pro Bowler signing with the 12s. That's an interesting team going on right now because, Deck, you brought it up yesterday with Terry and Arnold about having him come in here. And they signed him. He's obviously got a very serious legal case going on. I kind of thought maybe we'd see the commish step in and be like, you know what? He's on the exempt list. Nobody signed him. We're just going to wait and see how this plays out because there are some serious accusations, and we had heard that they had been, communicating through iMessage, which doesn't help. It's all going to be there. But then to go out there and get Trayvon Diggs, I think that might show that even if Terry and Arnold is cleared, clearly they need some more depth, and maybe he's going to be facing a suspension either way. Diggs is just 27 years old, which is crazy. It feels like forever ago where he was having incredible interception type seasons. Got a big deal. 5 years, $97 million with the Cowboys back in 2023, but obviously has moved on. And, the Cowboys haters will sit back and tell you he intercepted the ball, but he got beat deep a lot as well, which I think is kind of true. Again, it went hand in hand. You play a little bit of a risky game, it's going to bite you, but sometimes it can be frivolous as well. Now, the NHL, every NHL team this upcoming season is getting the hometown remix. Kind of reminds me of the reverse retro a few years ago. We've seen it with the City Connect in the NBA and Major League Baseball, where each team gets that kind of different look. I know Tom Gazzola has been all over the uniform game for the Edmonton Oilers for the last handful of years. And he had kind of given us a teaser, but then also told us it might be a misdirection. So we'll have to wait and see officially when all these jerseys do get released. It's not going to be till at least the 29th of September, but I am curious to see what these teams do with it. We've seen some really good alternate jerseys in the past. I liked the Oilers reverse retro when they went with the white predominantly and a little bit of orange. I thought those were really cool. I don't know if the team and the majority of the fan base liked it, but some teams have some good looks. The Minnesota Wild in the past, going back to the North Stars colors, was always a clean one. The Flames that year went with the kind of the retro, I don't even know how you describe it, like the lining on the bottom, but then an angled line as well. There's a potential for some good looks. I really liked the Canucks that year, the Johnny Canuck they had. The Rangers went back to Lady Liberty, the Eagle on the Washington Capitals jersey. I think that's going to be fun. And, it just makes sense business-wise. It's kind of a win-win. The NHL will make a lot of money, and hockey fans who aren't forced to buy these jerseys will just go buy them anyways because they look awesome and you want to add them to your collection. I don't know if there's any one deck that you remember from the past, like outside of the Oilers, that you thought had a clean look, but I'm thinking like the Penguins logo, kind of Mario Lemieux time with the sharp triangle. I liked the Islanders, Captain Highliner. The LA Kings with the reverse retro had the gold and purple, Lakers-esque, but it was the white jersey. Anyone stand out to you?
I was going to go with the Kings.
The Kings?
Yeah, that was mine. I was hoping you weren't going to sneak it in there. But you did last pick, but that was where my mind went.
I went through a lot of them, to be honest with you. I think I've got all the good ones. The Jets was a pretty nice one as well. The Sabres going with the Buffalo head.
Yeah, like I liked the Coyote one where it was just a coyote playing hockey.
Jeez, I forgot about that team.
Yeah.
That was not a bad one. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, obviously, until the NHL actually does come out and release these. But I think it's a good idea, honestly. And for the NHL, every time you put one of these jerseys out, you get that buzz. People seem to really enjoy it, and they make profit. So like we said, win-win. We should talk a little bit about the Edmonton Elks as the hot start to the season continues to roll on here. Jack, I can't wait to get Nick Anderson on the show because we've had him on before and he's obviously a really good interview, but just the job that this team has done with the injuries and having that next man up mentality. And for the middle linebacker position, like they went down to their third string and then still found ways to make it work. We've seen it, strong side linebacker. We've seen it along the defensive line. It's incredible what they've been able to do. Not only the scouting and the GM department with Ed Hervey, but you got to factor in the coaches, defensive coordinator J.C. Sherrod, and all of his staff. They almost don't seem to miss a step. Like it'll be maybe a bump or two there where, okay, but then they learn from it. They grow from it. And it's just these signs I would think from a team that is going in the right direction I know you and Eddie still been breaking it down all year, Deck, but this season so far has just been going extremely well. Down the stretcher, they've kind of put themselves in a position where you don't have to win every game. Like, you've afforded the opportunity where you can have a lull. And that's great. You know, the Elks, the last, let's be real, 6 years, we get to this point. They're in must-win situation approaching Labor Day. And the last couple of years, like, they've put themselves in a position where they could make the playoffs. This year, they should. They should not fall out the way they've been playing. They've got the tougher scheduled games essentially out of the way. You have the back-to-back with the Riders. You've already played the Montreal Alouettes twice. You split that series. I think that is one thing that is really encouraging for this group of guys. And now you got the teams you should beat. So like we saw on Saturday against the Toronto Argonauts, the game was close. And at the point of the end of at the end of the game, you know, they totally ran away with it. So it's good to see. MTR says he is on the exempt list. Okay, good. Well, I mean, there's no way we should have him back out there. Wesley Snipe says bring back the copper. Yeah, Wesley, I mean, that's kind of the thought process as well. When we did our little mock-up jerseys, we did our mock-up jerseys, we had a lot of people on Facebook, social media saying, oh, we got to get the copper. Unfortunately, we didn't have the color copper when we were making our jerseys, but yeah, that would be cool. I've heard people who've brought up the oil guy, the little guy that was on the shoulder patch when they did have that copper jersey, is kind of the front logo. That would be interesting. We'll have to see. There's some different directions they could potentially go with this one. I don't know if there's a bad one. I will say I didn't love the McFarland with the orange inserted into it. It looked better on the ice, I'll confess. But when it happened, I didn't necessarily think it was a great look. Mighty Cobra. What is a knee-ending surgery? Well, you don't want to know, Mighty Cobra. Season-ending knee surgery was probably the word that probably should have came out there. But, you know, it happens. Live radio, 1-833-401-1440. Get the text in here. In case you missed it, still to come on this show today, we are going to talk to Edmonton Elks middle linebacker Nick Anderson. Jason Strudwick will be by. Get his thoughts on the green and gold. You know, I kind of want to elaborate with what we went off yesterday with Terry Ryan about seeing what's happened with the Elks and the culture shift with the new ownership, president, GM, head coach, all the way down, and get his thoughts on, you know, is that the same with Edmonton? And I know it's not a new ownership group or president, but having a new head coach, what's going to change in his opinion with a hard-nosed coach like Mike Babcock? Speck will be by. We got Ben Raven. But coming up next, we're going to talk to Tyler Yaremchuk. We'll look at the Toronto Blue Jays. Another big win last night over the Tampa Bay Rays. Can they make it 2 in a row in Tampa? It'd be tough. You got Mad Max on the mound. That one's going to get going at about 4:40. We'll join it in progress following the Jason Gregor Show at 6 o'clock on our AM feed. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Mr. Rooter cries like a little tiny baby child.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you've got a package from Mrs. Rooter.
Aw, the card says, thank you for our unbreakable bond. You're the pro press fitting to my copper pipe.
Ooh, what's in the package, Mr. Rooter?
Let's see. It's a Plumbus 2000 spud wrench. She knew I'd never buy one for myself.
Just like tears. It's flowing or it's free with Mr. Rooter.
I love that woman.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man.
No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the bro zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhock Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhock Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as
The referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
They say if you look good, you play good. So why not upgrade your golf wardrobe at the Leduc Golf Club Pro Shop sale? They're slashing prices on all your favorite in-stock gear. Grab a new pair of shoes, a new glove, or pick up a fresh polo and accessories for up to 20% off. Don't wait. This sale ends soon. And when the inventory is gone, it's gone. Gear up for less at the Leduc Golf Club Pro Shop.
Ford employee pricing is back at Nisku Ford. Pay the same as Ford Motor Company employees. Plus, get the benefits of being a Nisku Ford customer. You'll have the best selection of new Ford vehicles from our great lineup of SUVs, from Bronco Sports and Explorers right up to the Ford Expedition, and Ford trucks from the Ford Maverick, Ranger, F-150, and Super Duty. Ford employee pricing is the biggest event on the Nisku Ford calendar. But hurry, it won't last forever, and inventory is limited. Take advantage of employee pricing today at Nisku Ford. Above expectations.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell. Helping you finish your electrical projects is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. Ewell.ca, your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, tonight, you get the Lotto 649, an estimated $14 million jackpot. Go check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here in the Sports 1440 studios. Reach us at 1-833-401-1440 or, heck, shoot me an email, connor@sports1440.ca. And we will be giving away some tickets tonight, or today, for the game on Friday night when the Elks taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So don't go anywhere. We'll do that later on in the show. Right now, you're going to go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net. We bring in Tyler Yaremchuk from Daily Faceoff Edmonton. Ty, what's going on today?
Not much, boys. What's going on in the 1440 world?
Not too much. I'm still getting used to the name change, but haven't butchered it too poorly yet. For you doing this show every day, has there been any hiccups? You just stick with ONE?
Yeah, we're lucky because we get to keep running with ONE, but I 1000% started my show yesterday with welcome into Oilers Nation every day. So it's just one of those things, and from hosting shows, it's muscle memory, right? Like the intro plays, I do my little joke, I hear the sound of the lead, and then I say, welcome to Oilers Nation every day. And I've done that for 4 years. So that's 1,000 shows or whatever it is, 800 shows. It's just wired in your brain. So it takes a lot to kind of get it out.
I am going to always struggle because we became just the Frenzy earlier on in the day. So our fantasy football league, like for me to try to say the Frenzies Fantasy Football League rather than Fantasy Frenzies Fantasy League, it's been a mouthful. It's been tough. We're trying to get through it. But yeah, I understand a little bit what you're going through here, but love the rebranding, and really everything stays the same. So if anyone's freaking out, don't. It's not that big of a deal. Ty, we're getting you on a little bit early today because you're going to be doing some pregame show for the Jays who take on the Rays tonight. Max Scherzer gets the call to the mound. We're going to have that one on our AM feed following the Jason Gregor Show at 6 o'clock. But the Toronto Blue Jays, as of late, winning series, doing what they have to do, clawing their way back into it, and playing some good baseball in the process. And call me crazy, but I still think there's room for improvement with this team.
Oh, there totally is. Like, this is not a climb up the standings that was built with a 10-game winning streak or something like that. And don't get me wrong, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, it kind of felt like that's what they would need to get back in this was a 10-game winning streak. But everyone around them has just stayed so mediocre. Like in their last 10 games, they're 7-3, and they've been 7-3 in their last 10 for a while now. Guardians are 4-6, Twins are 4-6, Rangers are 4-6, Tigers 4-6, Orioles 5-5. Like, they've gained 2 to 3 games on all of these teams just in the last 10, 11 days here. So it hasn't been this, feeling that it's an unsustainable heater that's dragged them back into the mix. It's like, no, you're watching them win games and kind of going like, hey, I know that there's still better baseball in this team. And getting that win last night at the Trop, which is a house of horrors for this franchise, going back to the very beginning of when Tampa Bay had a team, like getting that win last night was a bit of an exhale, because this week with the Rays and Yankees back to back on the road, I was a little nervous that this might be the week where, okay, that was a fun, again, 3 weeks there where they played pretty good. It's going to come off the rails this week. But if that doesn't happen, man, they don't play a single team above 500 for the rest of the season after this week. If they survive this week, look out.
Yeah, absolutely. And like big series against the Orioles to wrap up the season, or second last series of the season. It's going to be super exciting. And I saw a tweet. It was like, the losses hurt again. The Jays are back. Like for a while there, they were out of it, just, kind of moving on. But now when they lose, like, okay, it matters. They have to find ways to just keep on winning baseball games. Max Scherzer gets the call tonight to the bump. As of late, just looking at his stats here, he's given 5 strong innings. The earned runs at most has been 2 in his last 3 starts, going back to his last 4 starts, actually. How confident are you in him tonight?
Yeah, like I'm always uneasy when Max Scherzer takes the mound because he's 42 years old, and we know the struggles earlier this season, maybe tied a bit or a lot to injury. But since he's come back, to your point, he's been excellent. What kind of concerns me is the guy on the other side of the rubber, Drew Rasmussen, is if this guy pitched in a bigger market, he would be a household name, one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's that good. You load up his baseball savant page. He's 99th percentile in pitching run value. He doesn't walk guys. He has elite strikeout stuff. Like, everything he does is good. If it wasn't for the years that guys like Cease and Schlittler were having, I mean, Rasmussen probably does have a pretty good case to be number 3 in that Cy Young conversation this year. So the guy on the other end is that good for the Tampa Bay Rays. But if you want a positive for tonight with the Blue Jays, like, yes, Max Scherzer has been pitching well as of late. Also, blowing out the Rays yesterday, an off day the day before that. Your high leverage guys haven't pitched now in 2 or 3 games for most of them. So even if Mad Max can only give you 5 and can keep this thing tight, and if the offense chips away, you should be in a position where Miles, Rogers, Varland, your last 3 innings, your 3 big dogs are all healthy and are rested tonight.
So when you look at Rasmussen, obviously great record, low ERA, like you said. If it's not for some of these other guys and maybe playing in a bigger market, might be more of a household name. What's the plan of attack? Is there a way you can get to him?
Yeah, when you look through his stuff, the only number that isn't in like the 70th or higher percentile in terms of, his fastball, his breaking ball value, all of that stuff, his whiff rate is a little bit low. So you even saw yesterday in the way they picked apart Nick Martinez, who is another guy whose numbers are probably good enough to have him in the Cy Young conversation on most years. The way they worked against him was like Alejandro Kirk would foul off 3 or 4 pitches, right? And you just kind of work your way through an at-bat, get his pitch count high. And honestly, with Rasmussen, it's one of those games where I don't think you're trying to score 5 or 6 runs to get him out of the game. You're just plugging your nose every time you go up to the plate going, it's going to be ugly, and we need to just foul off pitches, stay in this for as long as we can, and hopefully just get them out of the game by the 6th inning so we can attack their bullpen. The only number that's not really truly elite is his whiff percentage. So again, if you're a good bat on ball team, which the Blue Jays have been as of late, they should be able to kind of hang around here and fight in at bats, because you're not going to light up Drew Rasmussen, but you can hope to get him out of the game quick.
Tyler Yaremchuk of Daily Faceoff Edmonton joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in for the vacationing Jason. I want to ask you, season long, what have you thought of the job that John Schneider has done for the team?
I think it's just so easy to hate on a baseball manager, because when there's a bad decision, you can like so directly point it to them. Like in a hockey game, if a defenseman makes an error with 8 minutes left and it winds up in the back of the net, nobody really sits there and goes, well, what was he doing on the ice with 8 minutes left? when a manager goes to a reliever in the 6th inning and he gives up a 3-run home run, everyone loves to point and go, why did he put that guy in the game? Why didn't he put that other guy in the game? Like, there's just so many easy ways to apply hindsight when critiquing a manager that I think it's just a little bit too much of low-hanging fruit when a team's playing bad to point to them and go, well, they got to fire the manager. This manager's a bozo, blah, 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 blah. With that being said, I like Schneider, and I've always been very pro Schneider. That's obviously the way this answer is going to lean. I look at that clip yesterday of him with his arm around Jose Soriano, and they're laughing. I watched the behind-the-scenes thing they did the other day as a team with him working the radar gun while they determined their fantasy football order, which was awesome, by the way. Like, I look at the way he interacts with Max Scherzer and Vladdy and all of these different pieces on the team that are all like wildly different personalities. That's a big part of a manager's job, is managing these egos and these personalities over 162 games. So the short of it is, I think he's fantastic at managing those personalities and being, one of the guys in the clubhouse with this team. And I think his decision-making, the people who critique it, it's often overblown and just using hindsight. Like, yeah, sometimes does he bring in the wrong bullpen arm? Does he do something where you maybe raise an eyebrow? Sure. Every manager is going to do that. I think the Blue Jays, honestly, and if this gets clipped, I'm sure it'll get ratioed to hell on Twitter or X, but like, I think the Blue Jays are generally pretty lucky to have a manager like John Schneider.
Yeah, I mean, geez, the success they had last year, I think he was so beloved by baseball fans. The speeches he would give after the series were incredible. It's a tough gig, and you're right. Like, I don't think other coaches necessarily get the flack that a manager for a baseball team does. So I thought that was a good point.
To even build on that a little bit, like, I saw someone was going viral the other day for the wrong reasons of being like, man, this Varland guy's good. It's a shame John Schneider didn't have the brains to use him in the playoffs last year. It's like, did you watch Louis Varland, every time he touched the mound, was giving up solo home runs. Like, Jeff Hoffman was electric. He was nails that entire postseason run. I think about John Schneider making the moves that he did in that series against Seattle in the ALCS, where it's Kevin Gausman coming into the game in Game 7 out of relief. He started and pivoted to use Bassett as an 8th inning guy for a little bit. You know why he was doing things like bringing Gausman and Bassett into the game? Because Louis Varland wasn't particularly trustworthy last year. So again, like, the hindsight thing of when people look back at that playoff run and they're like, oh, Jeff Hoffman cost them the game in the 9th inning. It's like, do you forget Jeff Hoffman striking out Julio Rodriguez in the top of the 9th, 2 outs to punch their ticket to the World Series? Like, that, getting through, I think he had to pitch 4 or 5 outs at Yankee Stadium to finish off the ALDS. Like, again, it's just easy in baseball to have a very selective memory. And when people criticize Schneider, I just think that's all it is.
Yeah. And then you cherry pick stats, and then someone like you can just call them out for everything else they might have missed. So that's why we like getting you on here, Tyler. A couple more questions for you. One more for the Blue Jays. I just want to ask you, with this string of good play, has there been a player, an individual, a storyline that has stood out to you?
I mean, the easiest answer to this one is Brett Bateman, the guy they got in the deal with the Chicago Cubs for Kevin Gausman. Also, Gausman's gone there, and he's really struggled. But Bateman's been hitting in the leadoff spot. If you've paid any attention to how Dalton Varsho's playing with the Houston Astros since getting traded, I think he's something like 6 for 49 or something like that. Like, he's been brutal. And Bateman's come in, and he's just your traditional scrappy leadoff hitter. He'll lay down a bunt. He'll leg out an infield base hit. He's got tremendous bat to ball skills, which I think the guys hitting behind him, when you're facing a Nick Martinez or a Drew Rasmussen or a Cam Schlittler, and your leadoff guy goes up there and fights off 4 or 5 pitches and throws in an 8-pitch at bat, and you really get to see the pitcher. Like, I think that's something the guys hitting behind him value. And the one thing that Blue Jays fans are going to learn to love with this guy is he is a truly, truly elite center fielder. Like, Dalton Varsho was as well. He could track down balls. He didn't have a very good arm. Bateman has a better arm than Dalton Varsho. But Bateman, with his elite speed and his ability to track balls, is like a plus defender in center field. And I think that's going to make him a Blue Jay for a long time. There's been a long line of Blue Jays who, just by being good defenders in the outfield, think of Kevin Pillar, have bought themselves a lot of time with this fan base. And I think Bateman is just like a Kevin Pillar with, honestly, probably a bit of a better bat.
Tyler Yamchuk of Daily Faceoff Edmonton joining us here. And just, you talk about the new players coming to this team, and there's been a couple, I think, that have really endeared themselves early on to the Jays fan base. Do you think something changed, kind of just like a exhale? Okay, the trade deadline's come and gone. This is the team now. Maybe something changed just with their mindset going out there onto the field?
I really wouldn't be surprised if it was like a little bit of a whirlwind feeling the last couple of weeks leading up to the deadline where like, okay, everyone kind of knew no matter how good they played, Gosman's getting traded. Everyone kind of knew Varsho's getting traded, and a bunch of other guys would have been on pins and needles. George Springer probably had some decisions to make when the team was coming to him, being like, you want to finish out the year here or do you want to go win somewhere? And through that kind of, I'll call it a 2-week lead up to the trade deadline, they somehow managed to only really be 3, 4, 5 games back. Then it started to trend closer to 3. And I really think that once the deadline passed and it was like, okay, the guys who are here and in the room, we know we're all staying in the room. And now you kind of have no choice but to fight. And then when you're done and your head's above water after all the noise of the trade deadline, and you look and you go, holy smokes, we're 3 games out of a playoff spot. Like, we can absolutely turn this thing around and get going. I just think it's really been a breath of fresh air, just getting through the mud of the trade deadline and being at a point where you go, man, if we just win 7 of our next 10 and keep on doing that and keep chugging along the way we are, we're going to be a playoff team again.
Ty, we're a month away from preseason hockey. September 19th, the preseason will get going for the Oilers. So a question for you, and I know we're still in the dog days, but what is going into training camp? One thing that excites you about this group and one thing that might concern you a little?
I'm excited to see the young guys for sure. Like, development, this is the old low tide line that he used to use when I was on his show. Like, development's never linear. I think back to, when we watched Ethan Bear and Caleb Jones do what they did for a few years in Edmonton, or a year and a half, and we all went, whew, young guys who are ready to take that next step. And then they just kind of never did. Like, just because a player shows good flashes early on, it never means they're going to be a good or great player for the next 4, 5, 6, 7 years. But with that being said, right, like, I liked what Josh Szymanski did in a limited sample last season. I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm excited to see how Ike Howard looks coming off what should be a pretty important offseason. Does Matt Savoy have another step in him? All of these guys, even Podkolzin, I think because he's been here for a couple of years and he's been in the NHL for kind of 4 seasons, we forget that he's still a very, very young player. And if you watch the videos of him ripping around training with his skills coach, and those videos always seem to make the rounds, like, he's always a guy who is like, seems to be working really hard to improve himself. So I'm excited for those young guys because I think all, like, obviously Podkolzin and Savoy are going to be on the team. Like, that's no question. But like Szymanski and Howard, that's your 4th line center. That's potentially a top 6 left winger for you in an area where you're pretty weak. Like, those 2 guys have a chance to come in and claim really important jobs. And then the only thing that makes me nervous is like, okay, what if Josh Szymanski isn't ready for that full-time job? What if he doesn't take the step forward? They don't really have another option. Do they look at bringing in? I wrote today at dailyfaceoffedmonton.com. That's weird to say, but I wrote today about PTO candidates. Like, why would you not look at maybe bringing in a Curtis Lazar or a Luke Glendening on a 1-year deal or on a PTO just in case just in case Josh Szymanski isn't ready to go? And when it comes to Ike Howard, what if we get a week or 2 into training camp and it's like, you know what? We actually don't think he's ready to start the season here. All of a sudden, the Oilers need some top 6 help. Is that where they start to revisit a Vlad Tarasenko conversation? So I'm excited for the youth, but I'm also kind of recognizing that they got some young players in some really important spots in this lineup, and it's never a guarantee that a young guy just comes in and is magically better than they were the last year.
The PTO conversation. That tells me hockey's getting closer, Ty. That's what that tells me. Before we let you go here, Buffalo Bills training camp rolling on here. We've had a few guests on the station the last few days. How are you feeling about the squad this year? We had a Patriots guest yesterday, and I will say I disagreed. That thought it's the Patriots division. I still think it goes through Buffalo, but how you're feeling about the team right now and the upcoming season? Is the defense going to be bouncing back, you think?
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about the defense. I'm excited to see what a guy like DJ Moore can do with Josh Allen. Last time Josh Allen had, prime Stephon Diggs, you think about the teams they had and how close they got. So as far as the division, I still think the Bills deserve to be the favorites. I know they didn't win it last year, and sometimes this conversation gets overblown because you can only beat who's in front of you. But the New England Patriots had a soft schedule last year, and like, there's truth to that. As much as it isn't the whole conversation, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, they got gifted first place. Like, no, you still have to go out and beat those teams. But how do the Patriots handle a tougher schedule this year? I think there's always a letdown when you're that young, up-and-coming, scrappy team who proves their doubters wrong one year, and then next year you got a bit of a target on your back. We saw the Bills go through that for a little bit as well. So I do still think if I had to put money on it, I'm not sure what play Alberta has the odds at. I'd be betting on the Buffalo Bills to win the division. I understand I'm a homer in saying that, but I do think that's schedule factor with the Patriots. They might be in for a bit of a rude awakening this year.
I think I'm with you. That fourth spot schedule, it's just a little bit easier, and 1 or 2 wins can sway the division. So I think I'm with you, and I trust Josh Allen way too much.
Yeah.
So if he's got the ball, they're down by a score, I believe he's going to find a way to get the job done. Ty, thanks for hopping on early today. Appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. See you, boys.
There you go. Tyler Yaremchuk from Daily Faceoff, Edmonton. Now, a little hack for you. You can still put in Oilersnation.com, and it'll take you to the website. Just want you to know. We did get some text rolling in here during that segment. Lance says, "Guys, Tyler, why he destroyed his house." I sounds like a sore subject, Lance. I didn't know if I wanted to, open that one up. I'd love to hear more about it though, off air. Maybe send those texts in. Dallas Farmers, Lazar's numbers were great for minutes and spot in the lineup. And the thing about Curtis Lazar, the guy is just he's a pro. He knows his role. It seems like gladly he would do it. I have to think he's beloved in the dressing room, knowing from what I know about him from previous stops and obviously his time with the Edmonton Oil Kings. Great group there. I would think he'd be happy to return, unless, you get a chance to play every night. Then I would assume you might take that opportunity. Jonathan Albert says, "Can you ask Tyler's thoughts on MLD coming to Vancouver? Someday it might happen." We actually talked with him about that 3 weeks ago when the news first popped up, and I don't think he was as optimistic as some people might have been. So we'll see. There's still a lot of hoops to go through, and I think a lot of us just had that sour taste in our mouth from obviously the Expos leaving and then the Grizz not making it in Vancouver. I think I'd like to see it happen. I think it'd be cool. I'd try to go to games as much as possible. Although flying within Canada, from what I've learned as of late, is not cheap. Maybe I'd make that drive. But I wouldn't. I'd still be a Jays fan. Just like if the NFL came, like we talked about yesterday, I wouldn't be swapping allegiances or anything like that. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll talk some NFL football. A team that I think some Canadians might like because out in Windsor, you're right across the street from Detroit. We'll talk some Lions up next. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Founded by a former pro motorsports competitor, Evolve Wheels and Tires brings decades of experience in custom wheels, lowering kits, lift kits, and accessories. Visit Evolve Wheels and Tires in West Edmonton, Edmonton's premium wheel specialists. Evolve your ride, evolve your experience.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. Hire Good provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fan.
Sports, your partner in power, just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world, plus variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto 649, an estimated $14 million. Get your ticket at PlayAlberta.ca. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan, intern Connor with you here in the Sports 1440 studios. Text line 1-833-401-1440. And we are going to now continue our look around the NFL as we go to the NFL report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or AC. Bundle them together and save more at legacyheating.ca. As we're joined by Ben Raven, covers the Detroit Lions for M Live. Ben, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. Thank you for having me. How are my friends up north doing?
Oh, we are doing very, very good. Enjoying the last couple weeks of summer up here before we hit the fall and the NFL season getting underway. Now, I just want to take people behind the scenes. Yesterday, we tried to get you on, but you had just bought tickets for the new Spider-Man movie. So how was Spider-Man?
Absolutely loved it. You know, you literally texted me about 10 minutes after I just bought the tickets. I was like, all right, nothing's going on. And then, but fantastic movie. High recommend. I'm a big Spider-Man nut, so that was a good time. And it was a pretty faithful movie to everything about Spider-Man. So high recommend there.
Okay. So before we get into the more lines, I want to dig into Spider-Man a little bit. You've got the three actors who've done it: Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and my guy, Tobey Maguire. I'm a little bit older. How would you rank the Spider-Mans?
I'm with you, man. Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire is still the GOAT Spider-Man movie. Although this one I feel like is safely in the top 3 discussion. But Spider-Man 2 with Tobey, man, I'm 37 years old too. I mean, you're preaching to the choir on that one. It's hard to beat Tobey and Doc Ock.
Yeah, okay. Had to make sure we're all on the same page here. Now we can talk some football. Get back to sports as the text line's blowing up telling us to talk sports here. So the Detroit Lions last year, I think it was a crazy season. We know we had high expectations for the team. They finished 9-8, which is respectable. That division was extremely tough, though. The Bears getting better, the Packers getting better, the Vikings, who really knows at this point. But I want to ask you, for the fan base that you've dealt with, people around the team, what are the expectations for the 2026 Detroit Lions?
To win the division and be back in the playoffs. This is a team loaded with firepower on both sides of the ball. This is a team with a head coach and a general manager somehow already entering their sixth season together. I mean, you talk about the offensive firepower. Yes, there are more questions on the defensive side of the ball, but Aiden Hutchinson, Jack Campbell are two as good defenders as you're going to get. And when you get the fourth place schedule like they've got this year, that opens up a window, because this is a team that should not be messing around with teams that are, less than they are. And last year they had the first place schedule, and you said it, the NFC North is an absolute gauntlet. And when you have some offensive line problems and you lose Frank Ragnow and your left tackle's hurt all season and your offensive coordinator hire is a flop, talking about John Morton, not Drew Pessing, that's how you go 9-8. And it is funny, because this is my 8th season covering the Lions. I think it's the first time they've had 4 winning seasons in a row, and now we're at the point of expectations where 9-8 and barely missing the playoffs is an absolute disaster around here. So I think that speaks to the expectations in Detroit.
Yeah, it's crazy in the sporting world how quick things turn around. Year to year, the expectations change so much. And one of the problems last year, you talked about it, injuries for this team. As I look right now, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, I believe not practicing due to injury. I saw that Jamison Williams, I think you had the article, returning to practice today. Outside of the 2 safeties, how are they looking health-wise?
Not bad, but the big one is, just because we knew Branch and Joseph were going to need a minute. They're on PUP, and I haven't seen Joseph in a while. Branch, they're hopeful early September, late August is what we heard. We're getting close to there. But the big one going into the season is center Cade Mays. Broken bone in his wrist. I think the prognosis was like 8 to 10 weeks on that. So that's not end of the world, but you're talking about the position that you could probably put most of the blame for some of the offensive inconsistencies on last year. Obviously, the monster Frank Ragnow retires and Graham Glasgow gets the job, and it just never works out. And they rotated through some guys at the end of the season and just never clicked. And then Cade Mays is the only guy that got a multi-year deal worth more than $10 million from them in free agency this year. And I mean, they still think he's their long-term answer, but it's just like, because there's been some sloppy snaps in Allen Park in recent days as they kind of figure out who's going to be the center there. So that's the main concern there. Obviously, Joseph and Branch, I mean, that might be the best safety duo in the league when healthy. That's a big deal. But like, when you look at what went wrong last year and you look ahead to what was supposed to go right for him early this season, Cade Mays was going to play a big role in that. So that's a pretty big hole as they figure out how to fill that as they enter the season, because it's kind of hard to imagine him coming back before the bye week, which is not the end of the world, but not great for an obvious targeted major need to fill in free agency there.
Yeah, I mean, geez, I'm a Chargers fan, so the center injury, I hate it. Finally, the Chargers get one, and he goes down with what looks like to be a season-ending injury. For the Lions, though, the offensive line, I mean, we know Penei Sewell is an absolute monster out there. They draft Blake Miller, who I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but like 54 starts at Clemson, thousands of snaps. Seems like he's pretty pro ready. The guards position as a whole, do you think they can make it through as long as it takes without Mays and, hold up enough to keep this offense rolling?
Yeah, I do. I really do, because Sewell, I mean, sometimes you forget how good he is. He kind of falls into the Hutchinson and St. Brown bucket, where you could write about all the amazing things they do every single day, but it gets to an expectation at a point where it's like, all right, you guys know this. But I will say this, Blake Miller, going against Aiden Hutchinson every day during camp, you're going to get some, he got beat 5 times today. Don't worry about it. He's learning from those mistakes, because that's like the best case scenario for an experience. As you said, great job on that 54 game poll. That's on the money. Clemson's all-time Iron Man leader there. You just see constant growth and constant comfort from him. And then Tate Ratledge, they keep toying around with the idea of maybe letting him be their emergency center. And I said it last year. I'm going to say it now. Don't do that. Just let that man play right guard. That is a plus, still rising player at right guard there. And then the other big question mark is left guard, because right now it's kind of Christian Mahogany's job that Ben Barch was signed this offseason. They're trying to get him some looks there, but I do think it'll be Mahogany at the end of the day. But center and left guard are the big question marks. Everything else I feel pretty good about. And Sewell I feel great about. But yeah, Miller, those battles will Hutch every day. You're getting a lesson every single day. Every single day you're getting a lesson every every 5 minutes against that guy.
Oh, 100%. Ben Raven joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in, covers the Detroit Lions for M Live. Now, I will tell you, yesterday on our show, my producer, Declan Kruger, had a question, and we were talking about if you were doing MVP parlays across the NHL, NBA, and NFL. We got to our NFL picks, and he said he likes Jared Goff as an outside pick for MVP. And, you know, when you think about it, statistically, he could put up the numbers. He's got one of the most explosive offenses in the league. I don't want to ask you if you think he's got an MVP season incoming, but what are the expectations you think for Goff trying to get this team back on track and into the playoffs?
Sky high. This is going to be his 6th season starting here. And I mean, we talked about all the problems last year. The offensive coordinator, the play caller switched mid-season, the offensive line problems, got sacked more times than he's ever been sacked in his entire career. And the guy still completed nearly 70% of his passes, 4,500 yards with 34 touchdowns and only 8 picks. If it's a little better around him this year in the trenches, he's absolutely in that mix. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But no, his connection with Amon-Ra St. Brown is like the best one-to-one connection I've ever personally experienced. I just missed out on Stafford and Johnson on the beat, so I wasn't there for that. The Goff and St. Brown, I mean, they can close their eyes and connect. But the big part to that is Jameson Williams, because he has looked like just an all-around destroyer. I mean, you're seeing him use full extension hands. You're seeing the short, intermediate routes, and we've seen him catch more 50-50 balls in the last 2 weeks than we've seen in his first 3 years as an active player.
Ben, we see it every year in the preseason at training camps. It's always that guy or two who may become fan favorites for the plays they make in camp. So with the 2 games left in the preseason, of course, hosting the Commanders, then heading to Indianapolis, who are some players to watch out for fighting to make this team?
The big guys I'm watching, I mean, it's in the secondary. I'm curious about Roger McCreary and if there is a place for him and if they don't have enough redundancy there. And then the big one, I think he's making the team. I mean, I will say this. I know he's making the team, but like, can he carve out a role as Ahmed Hassanin? Because unbelievable. They lost him in the preseason early last year. He joined the practice squad late in the year. I mean, my goodness, he has been one of the consistent camp performers out there. 2 sacks in the preseason opener, forces a fumble. I mean, he is all motor, all passion. And I mean, he's gone from a young guy, hopefully, and then get him on the roster to they've got to find some snaps for him. So that's a big one there. But then you got McCreary. Nick Whiteside is another guy I'm watching. And then it's an all-out battle for the final couple spots in the receiver room, too. I mean, might not be a household name, but like, watch out for Tay Martin sneaking onto that Lions receiver situation just based on what he does on special teams. And you're one injury away from maybe getting some looks, but maybe keep eyes on that name, Tay Martin. I mean, I think he's the bubble guy that really has a chance here to make that roster and surprise some people.
Now, if I can ask you this one, I probably don't get asked too much about it, but Giovanni Manu was a guy who we actually had on the show before the draft, played his college football at the University of British Columbia. I think also on the PUP list, but how has he looked in his first couple of years there?
You know, it's been, it took him a while. He finally got a start last year. He starts against the Bengals, goes against Trey Hendrickson, and then he landed on injured reserve, and we didn't see him for the rest of the year last year. And then this year, it was even a little stranger. He practiced the full first day, and then he was put on the non-football injury list after the first practice. Kind of sounds like it was an undisclosed injury is how it was described by Dan Campbell. But, man, I'll tell you, I say this with full confidence. Nobody wants it more than Manu. Like, they knew he was a project guy. They knew it. I mean, he's got the body. He's got the movement. He's massive. I'm just curious if they can get him back and just continue to work him. Just because when you see a guy that size and you see a guy who just wants it, because he was even the last guy off the field that first day at camp practice. That's why it was like shocking, like non-football injury, what happened? So we don't have a lot of answers there, but like I know that was some guy that they were like, all right, now it's time. 3rd season, let's see if we can get some more out of him. You know, they were talking about maybe seeing him at guard, but for him, it's just get healthy and get back, just because that was a strange start. He only lasted 1 day at camp this year, and that's a tough break for him, just because I'll tell you, I mean, he's a great kid to talk to. He wants it so bad, but right now, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a steep hill to climb, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, and everyone up here is certainly rooting for him, hoping he can get back out there on the field. Now, last one before we let you go, Ben. I had Pete Bursich on the different show I host actually earlier on in the week, and former player, lifelong Viking. a little biased. I did not want to say anything too nice about the Green Bay Packers, but you know, being an unbiased media member, how do you think this division plays out? Because it's going to be a dogfight.
It really is. I don't want to doubt Ben Johnson and the Bears just because I covered Ben's rise here in Detroit and they have so much talent, but I do have some concerns about that defense, and they're getting that first place schedule this year. Let me just tell you, that's a gauntlet, and if you slip up, you can fall behind and not catch up, just like the Lions did last year. I think the Packers are going to be. I don't think the Packers technically got better, but I don't think they got worse either. So I really do think this is a Lions, Bears, Packers should be the top three. And my personal expectations are the Vikings would be the fourth place team. But even I hate saying that too. This is such a hard division to pick because even if Kyler doesn't work out, or even if JJ doesn't work out, if it comes to that after that, that defense is still the biggest problem maker in the division, even if the names change, just because Brian Flores, he just sends unrelenting heat. He finds different ways to do it. So like you said, it's an absolute gauntlet. But right now I'm going to go Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings. Just top of the head. There's the gut feeling.
And you know what? To me, it's almost like the NFC South where, you know, you could put almost any order there and I could say, yeah, I guess I could see that happening. Like, yeah, why not? One injury, that could happen. Ben, thanks so much for doing this today. I really appreciate it. And we'll have to get you on again during the season.
Anything for Canada. I got you guys.
There you go. That is Ben Raven. Covers the Detroit Lions for MLive. Give him a follow on X at Benjamin S. Raven, a noted Spider-Man fan. And like me, agreeing. It's Toby. Toby's the GOAT of Spider-Mans. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we'll get to your text line rolling in here, 1-833-401-1440 and more. But first, let's get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Go Auto. You can shop over 17,000 vehicles at goauto.ca with 31 new vehicle brands and 73 locations to choose from. Find your car at goauto.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Finals from today in the MLB. It was the White Sox over the Cubbies 3-0. Twins over the Braves 6-4. Mets 4-2 against the Padres, and the Pirates beating the Tigers 4-3. One game in action right now. Red Sox lead the Diamondbacks 2-0 in at the top of the fourth. Coming up in about an hour's time, we'll see the Marlins and the Phillies, and then at 4:40, the Jays down in Tampa taking on the Rays with Max Scherzer on the bump. WNBA schedule, we'll see the Tempo and Mystics at 5:30, then the Lynx and Valkyrie at 8. In the sporting world, Dallas Wings rookie Ozzie Fudd is going to miss the rest of the WNBA season with a knee injury, and all 32 NHL teams getting hometown remix jerseys this season. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
For all your welding supplies, think AWS Welding. Located in Nisku, their readily stocked storefront carries a wide variety of welding glasses, cylinder rentals, plus welding rod, wire, and consumables. Same-day delivery is always available. And if they don't have it, AWS Welding will find it for you fast. Visit their online store today at awswelding.ca or give them a call or text at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. They make it happen.
Do you know why people love working at GS Construction? It's honest work. It's work that needs to be done. And we're really good at what we do. That's why GS Construction has been in business for over 50 years. We won't be wearing a top hat and tails, more like hard hat and boots, because we're heading underground to keep the water flowing in and out of your homes and businesses in Edmonton. GS Construction is currently looking for experienced pipe layers and top men. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
CanTorque has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at CanTorque.com.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat with bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turn. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Why tee off at the Ranch Golf and Country Club?
A fun, unique layout offering premier conditions.
The Ranch has been ranked as one of the top public courses in Canada.
Unmatched value. Score Golf Magazine rated the Ranch as the best value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital. You're looking for the best zero-turn mower? Go to the source. Hustler Turf in the Lawnmower Hospital. Hustler Turf started the zero-turn market in 1964, and they're still the kings of quality, durability, and performance. With versatile sizing from 34 to 104 inches, you'll have what you need to make your summer lawn care a breeze. Financing is always available. Check lawnmowerhosp.com. The Lawnmower Hospital.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Heavy Truck Auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m. Featuring triaxle, tandem, single-axle trucks, including cab and chassis, decks, diggers, dumps, pickers, tractors, vacs, and service trucks. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's 3:04. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto Max, $14 million. You can get your ticket. Also, check out the Jason Gregor Show boosted specials. Remember to use your game sense. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. Coming up this hour, we'll get to the oil report. Also, Nick Anderson, a middle linebacker for the Edmonton Elks, going to join us, and that should be a fun conversation. He's been on the show a few times. Great interview. Talk about the great start for this team, overcoming some adversity with the injuries and more. Stretty will be by, Spec, Cam Tate, stats of the day. And we're still waiting. We might even have a random NFL reporter join us. It could happen because we still got about 2 hours till we send out the request. And I think we're like 0 for 16. But we just need one. We'll let you know if it happens. Some text rolling in here. John of St. Albert had texted in earlier. Would you guys want an international NFL team? How would it even work? The commissioner thinks it could happen someday. Yeah, well, Declan brought that up in 5 questions yesterday. And to me, if we're going to Europe, I don't think that works. I think that's just too much of a disadvantage for that franchise. If you had the option, let's just say you're a free agent, and it would appeal to some players, but I think for the most part, you'd probably want to stay in your country, let alone your continent. So I think like a team in Mexico could work. I think that might be okay. The travel wouldn't be crazy. They have the stadium. I think the passionate fan base there would absolutely embrace it. I think that could work. But to me, and I think Declan said it before, like you're going to need multiple teams. You're going to have to make it justifiable to fly out there and maybe stay for a couple weeks. It's just a long way, especially for those LA teams, Seattle, Vegas. Like you're adding an extra 3 hours. I always kind of bugged me when those teams got stuck playing those games in Europe. It was like, let's just send the East Coast teams. There's so many. It reduces the travel. Obviously, those extra time zones makes a big difference. We know sleep science has improved a lot in the last 20 years, but I don't love it personally, John. Money talks. Maybe it happens, but I don't think I would be a huge fan of it. Cody says, I'm a man, but I think I just got pregnant from that crystal glass read with the music in the background. It's a smooth read. And then was that Brian Adams, Declan?
It was Brian Adams, yeah.
We were sitting at the bar one day and our sales extraordinaire SKS and the Duke were just rattling off their favorite Brian Adams songs. The guy's got a lot of hits. I go with Run to You because I feel like it's kind of upbeat. But you slow it down, and Cody was feeling it. Stan, the Jets fan, says, not only is Toby the GOAT, but Kirsten Dunst is the best MJ. Stan, the Jets fan. I think I do have to confess, I've only seen the Tobey Maguire ones. I've never seen Andrew Garfield, and is it Emma Stone? Is she MJ?
Yeah.
And
So how can you say he's the best?
I from what I know, he's the best. It's all I have. I will watch the other ones. Like, as I said before, we got Crave on the living room TV, and once I finish watching House of the Dragon, I think that I'm going to work my way through some Spider-Man movies because they're all there, and it's like top 10 Spider-Man, and then like RuPaul and a few other things. Got to finish House of the Dragon, then I'm going to work my way to the next one. Have you seen all the Spidey's deck?
Not all of them.
But you've seen Andrew.
The performances through. Yeah. I think like my favorite Spider-Man movies were the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans because, came out when I was like a young kid. Actually, funny enough, that first Spider-Man movie when I was 5 years old, my mom took me to see it in theaters, and Green Goblin came on the screen, and I told her, that's way too scary. I'm not watching when he's on the screen. And she was like, well, I think he's going to be in a lot of the movie. And I was like, well, then we're not doing this. So we left the movie after about 50 minutes, went to the park, met a bunch of other kids, told them I just came from the Spider-Man movie, lied through my teeth about seeing the whole thing. But obviously did see it when I was like a couple of years older and loved those Spider-Man movies. They were my favorite. But like, I just think Tobey Maguire, people calling him the best Spider-Man is so fueled by nostalgia. I think he is so clearly the third best Spider-Man. And I think like Andrew Garfield's movies were the worst, like Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2. Those were the worst Spider-Man movies, but he nailed the performance. Like he absolutely killed. And then Tom Holland, it's obviously a bit of a different one because it's like the MCU slop, which people aren't always a fan of. I don't mind the Spider-Man movies, but I think I just think Tobey Maguire, as much as I like the movies, was a clear third as Spider-Man.
No, you're talking about nostalgia, which I do think impacts it, but I think you might also have some recency bias here because Toby's the GOAT. That's all I gotta say.
He was like,
I got no stats to back it up. It's just heart. His performance when he went and fought the Macho Man. Did Andrew Garfield fight the Macho Man? I doubt it.
Toby, both of them could have been Spider-Man, but Tobey Maguire never could have been Eduardo Saverin.
Oh, well, you might have something there. Mackenzie just put her hand up. This is not school, but Mackenzie, what do you got?
I don't know how else to ask, like, if I can, like, hop in. I consider myself, like, a hardcore Spider-Man. Like,
so you're the person to talk to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listening to this, I was like...
This is clutch. You know what?
Yeah.
I actually did this once when Jason and Connor were talking about the Odyssey. And I literally had to go to Connor and be like, me. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. So, okay. Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man because Spider-Man 2 of the Tobey Maguire series is the best one. I also went and saw that in theaters, and
was crazy.
And I got too scared, and we had to leave. I was like,
I was drinking beer while you guys were watching this one. Come on.
But Andrew Garfield, for the time, was good, and I think he gets a lot of unwarranted hate because it was Sony. And now that Disney has the rights back, everybody thinks it's so much better, which the Tom Holland Spider-Man is good. But after everything with like Endgame and Infinity War, it's not the same. So
different
that's
levels.
where I come from. That's my thoughts on it.
See, Matt Leduc says Toby was the GOAT until number 3. Yeah, like when he comes out of that store front with the all black suit dancing, kind of lost me.
And I just think he's like so clearly the worst actor of those 3.
Really?
Oh, by like miles. He did Spider-Man and he did Cider House Rules. You guys ever hear anyone say, let's go check out that new Tobey Maguire flick?
Have you seen
I haven't heard
Brothers?
that in about 20 years.
Have you seen? Well, that's how old the movies were. Pleasantville? You weren't even born yet. Actually, you might have been born.
I think was Pleasantville 98?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were 97?
Yeah. We don't know. We don't know.
Nobody really knows. Yeah, I mean, I think it's all going to be recency bias and all this sort of thing. And like, that's me. I just haven't seen them. Lance says Andrew Garfield was way too cool to play Spider-Man. I can get that. He does seem like a cool guy. He was in the Facebook movie, right?
Yeah.
He was cool in that one, actually. He does seem like a cool guy. Earthy, you threw me off here. Because this is referencing her MJ character, but you sent that part in after. You said Kristen Dunst has got to be the worst human possible. She slept with his best friend, didn't care that his grandma died, and only cared that he didn't show up to her show. And I thought this was like, she did this. No. Kristen Dunst rules. Bring it on. Classic. MTR is all about Kristen Dunst as well, the GOAT. It's not who the better actor is, it's who the better Spider-Man was. But can we as humans fairly differentiate that? There's no exact science behind this.
Yeah, and like back to Lance's point, like okay, well, first of all, they are acting. So like when you're determining how they play Spider-Man, it's because they're acting, right? Like, can we agree with that? Like that,
Yeah, of course.
And like, but even if you want to take out what they did outside of like what their film catalog looks like outside of the Spider-Mans, I still maintain like my favorite movies, the worst Spider-Man.
Nikki Northside says Toby was the worst. Andrew was a great Spider-Man, but too cool to beat Peter Parker. Tom was a great Peter Parker and okay Spider-Man. None of them have the banter and chirp Spider-Man is supposed to have. Like, I thought the first one at times, was kind of corny. I get though, like Tom Holland seems like a cool kid. I know he's not a kid, but he just seemed like a cool guy and he kind of could play it. I get what you guys are saying about Andrew Garfield. Like Peter Parker at his core is not supposed to be some stud. He's supposed to be a bit of a dweeb. In that first one, he was. Flash kind of ran his show until that incident in the cafeteria when he caught all those fruits and veggies. Do you guys believe that was a stunt he really did, catching them all?
They told us so many times with so much ferocity that it was real that I just think it'd be so weird for them to lie about it. So like, yeah, I guess it must be real.
I like to believe that it was. I don't, it just makes it so much better. Rage Texter B says, I think we all agree who the best Batman was. 1, 2, 3. Christian Bale. Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let's get up to the mic and we'll turn it on.
What's crazy that this is being brought up, I literally just rewatched all 3 Batmans like 2 weeks ago.
Christian Bale was incredible.
It was very good. I enjoyed it.
Obviously it's Christian Bale. I think we do all agree with that. But like Robert Pattinson did a great job too.
And Sebastian Stan is going to be in the second one as Harvey Dent, which is going to be so good.
Any
George Clooney lovers?
Clooney was okay. I stopped watching after The Dark Knight, though. Was Affleck any good?
Never saw that
no,
one.
No, me
either.
either.
Assume it was terrible based on our reaction.
Yeah,
nobody's.
Was that Batman versus Superman?
Well, I didn't. Whoa. Yeah, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Haven't seen it. Saki Corp says Clooney was a victim to bad writing. Val Kilmer all the way. EG says he actually was a good Batman. Mark Hamill's the best Joker. Hot take from Lance. Wow, his voice acting was terrific. The Heath Ledger Joker, incredible. Yeah, man. Like, no one can beat Joker. Who was the guy who did it in Suicide Squad?
Jared Leto.
Leto.
He was barely in the movie. Ooh. But in the trailer, they made it look like he was like the main villain. He was in that movie for like 3 scenes in like 4 minutes.
That was it, hey?
Dude, I would also say like Heath Ledger as the Joker, like that's one of the top 5 best acting performances ever.
Yeah. And it's crazy because it isn't like a superhero movie. And I think people might discredit that, but I thought The Dark Knight kind of transcended that. He was unbelievable. What's your favorite Joker scene in that movie?
Oh, dude, there's like a trillion of them. But honestly, I think it's probably the one when he's in the holding cell and he's riling up Wirtz about how many of his friends he killed.
Yeah.
And then Wirtz is like, I gotta, I'm a 20-year man. I know the punks who need a lesson in manners and the freaks like you who enjoy it. So I'm gonna have to enjoy this a bit more. And then the next scene it cuts to him and it's like the Joker. He's got him in like he's got him like reversed and like with a piece of glass to his neck. And he's like, I just want my phone call. I think that's my favorite scene.
Mac, anything stand out?
When he's dressed as the nurse and he's walking out of the hospital.
I hated that one because I thought it was out of character I thought it was too cheesy for that Joker.
I also really liked when he's in the cop car and he's hanging out.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's shot. Like, I'm not like a cinephile or anything. I don't claim to be, but like that and the music from that movie,
dude,
unbelievable.
Can I just give one more? Cause like, I'm so into this conversation now. After he has the, he burns all the Chechens' money and kills Lau. And he's like, why don't we cut you up and feed you to your pooches and we'll see how loyal a hungry dog really is. And he's like, tell your men they work for me now. Dude, every scene he's in is so good.
Even like the opening scene, the bank scene is great. MTR pointed that out. Watch Mickey the pencil disappear. Unbelievable. When he breaks the pool cue in half and gives it to them, make it quick. Like, Yeah, the whole movie is unbelievable, and he was so good in it. Jack Nicholson was a great Joker. Dennis, still a Browns fan. Yeah, and that movie was a little different. I don't know.
A little more cartoony.
Yeah, and that probably, like, comparing him to Heath Ledger, who was, like, extra serious, maybe victim to the writing, like we heard earlier. Oh, now we got Walt asking who's the best James Bond. I'm just loyal to the guys that I saw first, apparently.
That's real, though. That's real.
GoldenEye came out when I was a kid, man. Do you know how many hours I logged playing GoldenEye? Pierce Brosnan was my guy. I know everyone probably has different ones because there's been so many and so many like iconic actors to do it. Very quickly before we get to break, Deck, who's your Bond?
I am partial to Sean Connery being the best Bond, but first of all, I actually want to sit down and watch like all the James Bond movies through and through. I haven't seen nearly enough of them. I do really like Pierce Brosnan as well, though.
Mac, you got a favorite Bond?
I've never seen the James Bond movies.
Wow.
Never a single one.
Never. I know the Adele song, Skyfall. Love, great song.
Great song.
That's all I know.
We should make sure you watch at least a couple of those. Back in the day, like right when Bond came out, one of the networks, I want to say it was like AMC, really capitalized on it when GoldenEye came out, and they would just run the marathons. And like I would watch every single one. The opening scene was always unbelievable. Good times. Maybe we'll jump back into this after our next guest, because we also had people asking about our favorite MJ. And like for me, it's Kristen Dunst, but maybe the other two have different answers. We'll see as we go along in the show. But coming up next, we'll go back to sports. We'll trail back to this conversation later, but we're going to talk some Edmonton Elks with their star middle linebacker, Nick Anderson, as they get ready to take on the Bombers on Friday night down at Commonwealth. Brady Oliveira coming to town. You got to be ready to go when you're facing an opponent like he. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Crispy, caramelized edges, a pillowy, airy center. Meet the new Papa John's Pan Pizza. Made with Parmesan and Romano cheeses, Papa John's special garlic sauce, and Italian seasoning, all baked directly into the bottom of the crust for a signature golden finish and crispy, savory crunch. Grab a medium pan pizza for just $16.99 today at your local Papa John's. Order now in the app or at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Tee up for a great day on the course and support the Stony Plain Eagles Senior Men's Hockey Club. It's the Stony Plain Eagles Golf Tournament. Gather your foursome and join the Eagles August 25th at the Links at Spruce Grove for a 2 p.m. shotgun start. Enjoy a fantastic afternoon of golf, great company, and friendly competition, all while supporting the Stony Plain Eagles. Get all the details and register today at stonyplaineagles.com.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with trackhoe or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with trackhoe or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
Need an excuse to upgrade your ride? Well, we got a few to share. Go Auto has over 18,000 new and used vehicles ready to test drive right now. With more than 70 locations, your perfect match could be closer than you think. A family-friendly SUV for soccer practice, a fuel-sipping commuter, or a hardworking truck that's ready for anything. Trusted brands and a team that's actually happy to help. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think,
Wow, great hair transplant.
I want them to think,
Wow, great hair.
Go to drvancelliot.com and contact us today.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Calling all pizza lovers, at Papa John's, get a large one-topping pizza for only $14.99 using the promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight's Lotto 649 jackpot, an estimated $14 million. You can get your ticket at PlayAlberta.ca. Also, check out the Jason Gregor Show daily specials. Boosted, of course. You can get deck selects. We got some, I think, some more probable ones. And then we've also got some ones that could potentially pay out quite nicely. So go check it out. Remember, though, to use your game sense. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Mackenzie McLennan here, getting you through this Wednesday afternoon. And of course, the Edmonton Elks in action Friday night, taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We'll be giving away some tickets later on in the show, so make sure you keep it locked on the station. But right now, we're going to talk to one of the stars of that defense, and he's our big guest of the day. Brought to you by Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches taking you and your team on to your next group destination. Book your ride at silentrides.ca. As linebacker Nick Anderson joining us here on the show. Nick, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, thanks. So, Nick, first off, practice ends Wednesday, a couple days before the game. What kind of things are you getting up to when your free time here in the city?
Just overall, going on walks, trying to enjoy the weather when it's not raining, and just getting off my feet and trying to enjoy what Edmonton has to offer around the city.
Right on, right on. So before we get to, the current group with the Edmonton Elks, I want to talk a little bit about your past. I was diving in a little bit and going back to high school. So you played running back and linebacker for reports here. You confirm it a little bit. But coming out of high school, you had offers, but you decided to take the JUCO route. And obviously it worked out pretty well for you. And you went to Jones Junior College. Why did you decide to go the junior college route?
Overall, just, playing high school football in Mississippi, you just are blessed to be able to be in SEC country. So to watch schools like Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, Alabama, and then to play against guys that had offers from those schools and actually play well, I just took the gamble of betting on myself. I figured if I was a state all first team all-state caliber player in the state of Mississippi and other guys that were first team all-state were going to Power 5 schools, then I figured I'd just go to junior college to try to get re-recruited and get an opportunity to go play on the FBS level.
Yeah, obviously it did work out for you, ending up at Tulane where you had a great career. But I was looking at it. Confirm this. Stenson Bennett, one of your teammates at Jones?
Yes, he was our quarterback for that championship team that we played on.
So he would go on to win 2 national championships with the University of Georgia Bulldogs. Could you see that from him at the JUCO level?
For sure, man. Stet was a humble guy, a fierce competitor. We made it to the championship that year behind him. In junior college, we unfortunately lost to East Mississippi in the championship game. But he was always just a fierce competitor, a guy that had a big chip on his shoulder. And so when he had his collegiate success, it didn't shock me.
Yeah, that was a heck of a run there. And you went to Tulane, obviously. The way you guys kind of wrapped up under Willie Fritz there, improving every year, kind of maybe something you would have seen or experienced then when you came to the Edmonton Elks organization. But that 2022 season, when you guys go 12-2, like what was the kind of the standout memories from that season with Tulane?
Oh man, that season was incredible. From being able to go on the road and beat a Power Five opponent in Kansas State, to playing Houston and winning the game in overtime when Houston was favored to win the conference. Went to Cincinnati, played on Good Friday in front of the whole country, and clinched the home championship game berth. And then just that championship night, man, to just win that game and do that for the city of New Orleans, and the fans and everybody rushed the field, and then to go on and play Caleb Williams in the Cotton Bowl the year that he won the Heisman. That was just a Cinderella season, man. It's a season that I was just blessed to be a part of and something that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Now, how was it playing Caleb Williams? We know he went first overall to the Bears, like you said, won the Heisman. I imagine the talent level was just incredible up against a historic program like USC.
For sure, man. I definitely say Caleb was the best player that I played against in college. For real, he a lot of times, you see guys, win the Heisman, and then you be like, well, he very questionable once he make it to the next level. But Caleb Williams is going to be one of those guys that plays in the NFL for a long time. I feel like his talent is unmatched, and it was put on full display when we played against him.
Nick Anderson, a middle linebacker for the Edmonton Elks, joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. So, Nick, this season for the Green and Gold, I think expectations were high. We saw what was being built there with Coach Killam and J.C. Sherrod on the defensive side of the football. Cody Fajardo coming back on the offensive side. What would you say has been the biggest change defensively only from J.C. Sherrod and your group on the defensive side of the ball?
I would just say continuity, man, and just guys just being leaders amongst themselves, and just having that brotherhood in the locker room. This is one of the first defenses that I've been on professionally to where everybody bonds, everybody are great friends, and everybody are real life brothers outside of the locker room, which is hard to have in professional sports. And so to have that and also be playing on the same side of guys that you know their families, you know where they come from, their story. It just gives you a different type of motivation when you're out there playing with each other.
Have there been some similarities that you've picked on with the rise from your Tulane experience coming to Edmonton?
For sure, man. Just when I first got to Tulane, we weren't winning and hadn't won in so long, and people didn't come to the games. People didn't really have a lot of faith, a lot of hope in us when I got to Tulane, and we had to establish that. But in order to establish that, we had to really just have faith in each other, because it all starts in the building. Before people can believe in what you have going on and what you're trying to believe in and shoot towards, you have to have that belief amongst each other. And so I've just seen that develop within ourselves. In order to have this great season, we had to believe in each other. We had to believe that we can do it, because who would have thought in the beginning of the year that we'd be sitting with the opportunity to go into the second bye week 8-3. Nobody outside of the guys that was in that locker room. And so we just hold on true to that. Don't never get too high, never get too low. And just make sure that we're playing for the guys beside us each and every day, the ones that showing up and working with us.
There was a long stretch of the season here where you guys in the third quarter were almost like giving up no points, like the occasional field goal. And I really thought there must be some adjustments being made at halftime. Is that true? Like, are you guys really breaking it down? Are you having in-depth meetings with the positional coaches and J.C. Sherrod about things you need to clean up in the second half?
For sure. I mean, the coaches do a great job of coming into the locker room and sitting everybody down, making adjustments, and really just dialing in on the game plan, making tweaks, installing things that, may have come open. Because every time you play a team, they're not going to do 100% of what you've been practicing for the whole week. So you have to be able to make adjustments. And that's one of the great things that our coaching staff is able to do. And shout out to JC, man, to be a young defensive coordinator, man. He calls great games, and he always puts us in a position to succeed, which is something that you love to have as a play caller. But overall, man, just being able to execute whatever the coaches ask us to do has led to our ultimate success.
in that game on Saturday, did it feel like you guys were wearing down those Argonauts team? Because, I mean, the second half, obviously, you guys shut them down. You allowed 3 points. J.J. Ross had the pick 6. He had 2 interceptions on the game, the forced fumble as well. Was there kind of that feeling in it like, hey, if we just keep doing what we're doing, the offense is eventually going to get theirs and we'll run away with this one like you did?
For sure, man. Defensively, we always say that we try to control 2/3 of the game, one being defense, the other being special teams. So shout out to Richard for just forcing a fumble on the opening kickoff of the second half. I feel like that really set the tone. And then after that, the offense were able to get immediate points. And then defensively, we just did our jobs, man. We just did our jobs because we know there's going to come a point in the season where we need the offense to get in the shootout for us. This is pro football. And so just to have their backs and be able to, get them started and get them rolling in the second half and do our part. It really just made Saturday fun. I've been telling all my family members and everybody that asked about their game, it was a fun game. It really was almost like a college football game, man. It was a great time, and I enjoyed that one. Now looking forward to the win on Friday night.
Yeah, and it's been great to see the people starting to get out for the games here. The 30,000 against the Rough Riders and north of 22,000 on Saturday. Friday night's going to be electric with Winnipeg coming to town, and we will talk about that. But I got to ask you, because I did pick up on it, and my apologies if I've missed it before, but you were in there on the offense for the third and short situations there. Have you been doing that all year, or have you been kind of working your way in?
Last week was my first time doing it, but it was just, an opportunity for me to help the guys. Short yards is something that we're trying to improve in. And so, I have that background of playing offense and being able to block guys. And, I'm just willing and able to do whatever I have to do to help the team win. So when they asked me to come over and contribute, I didn't blink at the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome, because that was an area where there was some missed opportunities against the Rough Riders. And then even to see it, Tyrell Ford had the big tackle as well on special teams. It's cool to see the defensive starters getting out there doing more. Now, are you talking to them a little bit like, hey, maybe we throw me the football as well?
Yeah, for sure, man. There's been conversations, man. It's a long season, so we'll cook something up.
That's awesome. As we're looking at the Edmonton Elks right now with a middle linebacker, Nick Anderson here on the Jason Gregor Show. And I have to ask, just because of the job that I think, not only at Herbie, but the coaching staff has done preparing guys for when the injuries do occur and people get called into the lineup. And Therese Reed was the latest one, getting out there, playing the Sam linebacker spot, 5 tackles, did not look out of place. How nice is it this year? And we've seen it along the defensive line as well, that when someone goes down, unfortunately for you, you've had that pop up as well. The next man up, like everybody gets out there and there's not a drop off.
For sure, man. You talk about that Tulane team that we had. I'll never forget playing Kansas State. And then I actually cramped up in the third quarter, me and the other starting linebacker and the starting free safety. All of us was cramping. And so we had to go in the locker room at halftime, not halftime, but during the third quarter to get IVs in our arm to rehydrate. And we had 3 freshmen in. Middle linebacker, will linebacker, and free safety, and they executed. Was able to keep Kansas State from scoring while we got back on the field. And similarly, like championship teams, it takes everybody. Everybody has to be prepared, especially in pro football. You only dress 43 guys, and all 43 got to be ready to contribute any type of way. And so to have that amount of depth and have guys that are prepared to come in and step up when their name is called, man, it's a true blessing, and it's why we're winning.
So just for you, obviously out there on practice all the time, going up against a guy like Cody Fajardo, and we heard reports that potentially maybe he would have been done at the end of last year. Thank goodness he didn't, because he's coming this year, been outstanding, second in the league in passing yards. What have you thought about your quarterback's play so far this season?
Man, it's been amazing, man. Never in doubt when Seven has the ball, man. Just the way that he prepares for the game, the way that he prepares the other guys, the way that he leads the locker room. You can tell that, winning a championship is his sole purpose and drive for this season. Cody, wants it, just as bad as anybody in that locker room. And you could tell by the way that he puts his body on the line, the way that he just, has that toughness in him, could take a sack and get up and, fight for extra yards on the next play, and just to know that you're getting that from your quarterback, your signal caller, man, it really just boosts the morale for the whole team.
I want to also ask you about another teammate, Justin Rankin, because, the numbers wise weren't necessarily there the last few weeks in terms of rushing, but last game against the Argos in the second half, you saw why he was initially brought to this team as a receiver. That catch he made down the seam and the hit he took, I thought that was just an incredible play by Justin Rankin. Going up against him in practice, is it kind of like, there's no real cues because he could be a receiver on this play. He could be running the football. He's just got that versatility.
For sure, man. Rank is a truly unrecognizable talent when it comes to just the things that he can do with the ball in his hands in general, no matter what position he's in. And to just have a guy like that on your team, you're lucky to have him, man. I was in awe watching him, all season just make defenders look silly, man. But he's just a guy that loves the game, a guy that, is a joy in the locker room, brings energy and effort every single day, plays with a huge chip on his shoulder, and just, is a guy that I'm grateful to have on my team.
Nick Anderson of the Edmonton Elks joining us here on the Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. So you've got the Winnipeg Blue Bombers coming up this Friday. Home game's going to be a lot of fun, 7:30 kickoff. But on the opposite side, you've got Brady Oliveira, a guy who has been a dynamic running back in the CFL and just a tough guy, I would think, to bring down. Now, what is the game plan when you're going up against a running back like that?
Just overall understanding that he is the engine that drives that offense. They got a very, smart and experienced quarterback in Zach Caleros. And Zach Caleros is a guy that, if once his first read, second read isn't there, he's getting the ball into Brady Oliveira's hands in order to, allow him to make a play. And then shout out, I got to give credit where credit is due. Brady does a great job of, getting the ball in his hands and getting north and south, making defenders miss. And so the game plan this week has been really just to, keep the top on the defense, don't give up explosives. And then when 20 catches the ball, everybody has to swarm and get 12 hats to the ball.
Is this one of those games you get fired up because of the opponent, kind of maybe similar to Mills with the Stampeders, or even what we've seen Xander Horvath through the last few weeks with the BC Lions?
Man, the CFL is a passing league, so anytime you get the opportunity to play against a running offense as a defensive player, it always just makes it fun, man. Just to be able to fly around, make tackles, and just have a impact against the run. Like, you go back to Pee Wee days of Little League, man. The first thing offense used to do is run the ball. So I always look forward to games where teams, want to come in and run the football. So just going to be a physical downhill game, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Nick, hey, thanks a lot for doing this today. Really appreciate it. Good luck on Friday and with the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
There you go. Nick Anderson, middle linebacker for the Green and Gold. And I love hearing that. They asked me to play short yardage. Of course, let's get out there and do it. And it was a spot of their game where there was a bit of a drop-off. And a couple occasions in that game against Saskatchewan where they were victorious, Coach Killam gave them a chance, and obviously it didn't pay off. So what are we going to do? Well, let's find some guys who can get out there and can do it. And like I said, Tyrell Ford getting out there on special teams, making tackles, encouraging signs, I would think, for this group, having those guys step up and try to maybe clean up some of the deficiencies in your team. And for Anderson, the guy's been a stud since he got here. Obviously, Rookie of the Year, his first season, and fun to watch out there. Love those short yardage plays when he's on the opposite side, flying over the pile. Pile kind of reminds me of a young AJ Gass from back in the day. So should be a fun one. We'll be giving away some tickets. We'll ask you guys right now. We'll make it very simple. For 2 tickets to the Elks and Bombers game on Friday night, all you have to do is text into 1-833-401-1440. Favorite member of the Green and Gold right now. Who's your favorite player on this Elks roster? And we'll give one lucky listener 2 tickets to the game on Friday night. It is the Jason Gregor Show. When we come back, more of your texts. 1-833-401-1440. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
The Chicken Parmy Burger, McExtreme pulled pork, garlic and black pepper chicken McNuggets, cheesy bacon McFlavor fries, and the Stroop Waffle McFlurry. You've scrolled them. You've screenshotted them. You've never been able to order them until now. This is the McDonald's World Menu Heist. The most wanted menu items taken from around the world, now in Canada. Get them while you can. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Pride of the North Side and a man of O-Town. Listen to the Tom Gazzola Show, weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's home for sports. Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
Kickoff is coming August 21st. Elks, Blue Bombers at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Country Night presented by Innova. Dust off that Canadian tuxedo and bring the honky tonk to the field. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
2006, we saw the launch of Twitter. JT was #1 with Sexy Back, and the corner of Jasper Ave and 118th was never the same.
On the Rocks, celebrate 20 years of OTR.
Friday, September 18th.
With Whale and the Wolf. Whale and the Wolf.
20 years of music and memories.
20 years of On the Rocks.
Friday, September 18th. Get in early. Jasper Ave and 118th.
Now's the time to shop the Brick's 0% event. Get what you need today with absolutely $0 down. Pay nothing with no interest until 2028. Or choose 36 equal monthly payments on qualifying purchases. Plus, save up to 25% on living room furniture, up to 20% on dining and bedroom furniture, and up to 40% on select mattresses. Hurry into the Brick today. These incredible offers are only on until August 19th. The Brick, saving you more.
Ford employee pricing is on now, and you pay what we pay on virtually our entire lineup of Ford vehicles. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m. featuring triaxle, tandem, single axle trucks including cab and chassis, decks, diggers, dumps, pickers, tractors, vacs, and service trucks. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque. Made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at www.cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's 3:45. Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca tonight. If you're interested, Lotto 649, $14 million. You can also check out the sports section, the Jason Gregor Show Daily Boost. Some good ones there. Some likely, some maybe not so likely. Remember, use your game sense, but check it out, PlayAlberta.ca. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Mackenzie McLennan with you here. Text line is 1-833-401-1440. In case you missed it earlier today, there was a trade in the NHL, and it was not a big one, but Cruz Lucius being acquired by the Anaheim Ducks for future consideration from the Pittsburgh Penguins, brother of the Winnipeg Jets' former first-rounder Chaz Lucius. An interesting one. Like, we'll see what it really leads to. He played last year at the collegiate level. Arizona State had 15 goals, 46 points in 36 games, originally a fourth-round pick, and I'm just so curious about this Anaheim Ducks team. I know we talked about them yesterday with Andrew Knoll from the LA Daily News. The cap space situation is not good. $9 million. They still have to find Cutter Gauthier a way to get him to sign his deal. The $13 million wasn't enough. So you do the math. I don't know how they're going to make that one work. On the back end, they lost a few key pieces. Not the strongest, maybe, per se, of defenders. You obviously have Jackson Lacombe there for a long time. But it's intriguing. Like, if they dropped off, if they don't find a way to get Cutter Gauthier in, I'm sure they will. There's plenty of time. It just has to get done at some point, even if it is a bridge deal. Could their defensive end cost them? Could that have them drop down in the standings? Counterpoint, the Edmonton Oilers, you lose Darnell Nurse, but an opportunity for some other guys to step up. Could that be what they need to surpass them in the standings? The Vegas Golden Knights will have questions as well. New head coach bringing in their former AHL bench boss. Really kind of setting up for an interesting time in the Pacific Division when we eventually get there. We are a month away from NHL preseason action, and there's just the 4 games this year. So should be a lot of fun. I'm sure we'll start to see some pop-ups, maybe the captain skates right away here. And then we get into the preseason. And we'll have pre- and post-game coverage once again. Andrew Walker and Donovan Paulson here on Sports 1440 before and after every game. We hop into the text box here. A lot of people leaning towards what we were saying when it comes to the Batmans. But some people, Val Kilmer getting a little bit of love here. We also had regarding the top bonds of all time. And I will say, probably not too many people leaning the way I did. Walter had said any other than Sean Connery is incorrect. He might be the GOAT, right? Yeah, you go back and you look at some of the movies that he was a part of. He was phenomenal. But there's also, in my opinion, probably not too many bad ones. We had asked you before the commercial break for a chance to win a couple tickets to the Elks and Bombers on Friday night. Your current favorite player, all you have to do is text in 1-833-401-1440. And I would say that Justin Rankin, right now, kind of the clubhouse leader. Cody Fajardo getting a few votes as well. But if you want to go to the game, 1-833-401-1440. We will do that probably in the 5 o'clock hour once again. Right now, why don't we get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto, who has donated more than $27.2 million to local charities. They also take pride in supporting the communities where they live and do business. GoAuto.ca. And hey, dog days of summer. We're kind of taking a look at the Edmonton Oilers and what's going on here for them. We'll wait and, see how things pan out once they actually hit the ice. There's excitement for, I think, a lot of players and maybe a chance at redemption for guys as well. You look at the top six, I think it's mostly ironed out, and maybe the left wing spot with Connor McDavid, we'll have to wait and see who really grabs that opportunity. If nothing changes, you've got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins there, but I'd really love to see, a guy like Ike Howard potentially get out there and show what he can do. There's a little conundrum around him. Can he play in the bottom six? Probably not likely. I think you want him to play in the top six as a shooter. So if he comes into camp and takes that next step and can be a night in, night out NHLer, that's huge. Giving your second line, Matt Savoy, Leon Draisaitl, Vasily Podkolzin, we saw last year that line can work. Then you get down to the third line. I'm just hoping for a healthy season for Kasperi Kapanen. Hope that he can get through it. I know he had the injury and then tweaked it in practice. We kind of saw the reaction, a lot of frustration. He's a guy who played under Mike Babcock in Toronto and had some decent seasons. You got Jason Dickinson back. We'll see how that plays out. I like the move, the third line center, and then does Nuge slide down to that wing on the fourth line? And I thought Tyler Yaremchuk, when he joined us earlier on in the show, kind of had some interesting names there for a PTO. And the Curtis Lazar one to me just makes too much sense. If Josh Szymanski is not ready to be an everyday NHL player, I think Curtis Lazar would be a perfect guy who you can slide in there. When he was out there, the numbers were good. I think he would accept the role. Now, granted, if you do get an opportunity to play elsewhere and be an every night player, you would never fault a player for doing that. But if he is on that situation where he is kind of a, 13th forward, why not with the Edmonton Oilers? Can contribute it with faceoffs, special teams on the PK if you need. Good guy in the room. And then the other guy to watch out for this year is Trent Frederick. And I know, he's been a polarizing figure here on Sports 1440. The contract was crazy. The term, I think more than anything, was what threw a lot of us off. The 8-year contract extension. If that's what you needed to do to get the job done, then I guess you get it. But the production just wasn't there. 7 points in the 74 games. Dash 15 for those of you who believe in it. Appeared in 4 playoff games. Held pointless. And I know point production isn't necessarily the biggest thing for Trent Frederick. You want him to get out there and showcase some of the muscle. That's why I kind of like the idea of having he and Colton Dach on the same line, where Colton Dach seems to know what to do. If he has to go out there and mix it up, be that physical presence, he'll do it. We've seen that short sample size. But if he's going to go out there and do that and kind of drag Trent Frederick into the battle with him, to me, that's okay. As long as he eventually gets out there and does it, uses that bigger frame, he's 6'3", 220, go out there and be that kind of guy, all of a sudden, I think we're pretty happy with it. I don't think I'm expecting 17, 18 goals from this guy at this point. Those 2 years in Boston, they feel like they were a long time ago, just 5-6 years ago. But I want that physical presence. You're not always going to get the goals. That's not always going to happen. But what you can control is that effort, that tenacity, that tough thing to do. And it's not easy. We've seen a lot of quote-unquote fourth liners come and go in Edmonton that haven't been able to do it night in, night out. I can think back to Pitlick back in the day, where you just wanted to see it more consistently. It's not easy, but to keep your spot in the NHL, you certainly got to do so. Fuzzy says, hey guys, is Vegas still preventing teams from talking to Bruce Cassidy? Well, who would talk to him at this point? I guess that would be the question. I think, maybe midway through next season, if a team wanted to talk to him, I'm sure they might consider it, maybe depending on the team. It's not going to be Edmonton. I don't think it's going to be Anaheim when you're looking at, rival teams in the division. The LA Kings? No, probably not. I think they're probably happy with Laviolette and Coach Q down in Anaheim. So I would think if a team came calling at this point, they might allow it to happen. I do think it was just they didn't want him with the Edmonton Oilers. I think that was the biggest thing there. Don't let him go to that rival. He knows that team inside and out. You don't want him to, potentially meet up in the playoffs and maybe have that inside edge. It was frustrating, obviously, for the Edmonton Oilers and the fan base. But deep down, I think it showed there was a little bit of fear. We don't want him going there. We know what he can do. We've seen it before. He knows us very well. Let's not give them any more of an advantage. And that's kind of how it played out, in my opinion. We'll see what happens, though, because there will be a coach being fired. There's going to be a team next season that starts off just a little bit slower, and I think they might be reaching a point where you just let them go. You also don't want Freddie to go get beat up by Matthew Olivier either. No, certainly not, Bill. Yeah, that was kind of the thing. Great, go out there and drop the mitts, but it doesn't have to be a statement thing. Okay, well, I've done this, so I'm good for a little while. I think night in, night out, just be tough to play against. Don't be a defensive liability, which I don't think he is. And that'll be okay. The bar has been set low. But I also do think that playing with a new head coach like Mike Babcock, it's a fresh slate. He's got an opportunity here to do something. And we always say the one thing you can control is effort, is your give a you-know-what. So go out there and do those types of things. Lean on guys. Eventually, the bounces are going to go your way. He has the potential to be a 15-plus goal scorer. I don't think you're going to get those numbers. But heck, if you get 10, all of a sudden, I think everyone's pretty happy and pretty impressed with the way it goes. Hey, you young whippersnappers, you've overlooked the greatest Batman of all time, Adam West. Signed, Alan Mitchell, a.k.a. Hacksaw. Yeah. A little before my time. My wife owns the DVD, so I have got a chance to see a little bit of the great Adam West in his prime as a Cape Crusader. But for me, it's not enough to convince me to go elsewhere. I should also tell you guys that Stingray also has some Elks tickets up for grabs. All you have to do is text in the code word Elks to 1-833-401-1440, and you'll have an opportunity to do so. I believe we just gave away another pair of tickets now. So there's multiple ways for you to get tickets. And if you do just want to buy some, text me. I got a guy. I'll send you their email, and you can reach out, check in, and he will definitely hook you up. One of the best sales associates the Elks have. Coming up in the show still, we got Jason Strudwick going to join us at around 4:20. We'll have 5 questions, spec, Cam Tate, the stats of the day, and also up next, the roundtable. But first, we'll get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger. This one brought to you by HireGood. We solve real problems for businesses while creating real impact. We reduce issues on your property, keeping it safe and taking pressure off your team. Go to hiregood.ca. HireGood, stable jobs create stable lives.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Finals from the MLB earlier today with the White Sox over the Cubbies, 3-0 Twins over the Braves, 6-4 Mets, 4-2 against the Padres, and the Pirates beating the Tigers 4-3. One game in action right now sees the D-backs lead the Red Sox 5-2 in at the top of the 6th. Marlins and Phillies will be getting going in about 10 minutes time here. Then at 4:40 today, the Blue Jays and the Rays down in Tampa. Max Scherzer on the bump in that one. WNBA action, just 2 games tonight. Toronto Tempo in action as they'll take on the Washington Mystics at 5:30. Then at 8 o'clock, the Lynx and the Valkyries. Dallas Wings rookie Ozzie Fudd with a knee injury set to miss the rest of the season, while the Blue Jays have DFA'd Waldron, and all 32 NHL teams getting a hometown remix jersey this season in the league. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Tee up for a great day on the course and support the Stony Plain Eagles Senior Men's Hockey Club. It's the Stony Plain Eagles Golf Tournament. Gather your foursome and join the Eagles August 25th at the Links at Spruce Grove for a 2 p.m. shotgun start. Enjoy a fantastic afternoon of golf, great company, and friendly competition, all while supporting the Stony Plain Eagles. Get all the details and register today at stonyplaineagles.com.
Tasting just so right. You can order at oodle-noodle.ca. Delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle-noodle at oodle-noodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodle-noodle.ca. Oodle-noodle.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
and with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Yeah, it's me again. And if you're sidelined with a sports injury, you already know nothing's more frustrating than being told to just rest. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we get athletes moving sooner with our zero gravity treadmills. You can run, train, and rebuild strength with up to 80% less body weight, so your injury heals while your confidence comes roaring back. When your sports injury's yelling, whisper back, leadingedgephysio.com, because life shouldn't hurt.
Ford employee pricing is on now, and you pay what we pay on virtually our entire lineup of Ford vehicles. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Plan for success in 2027 with help from the Co-op Grow team. With the latest on-farm technology, our agronomists will work with you to gather and interpret soil samples, analyze data, and gain more insight into your fields. We offer local expertise and trusted advice to help you plan your inputs and prepare for the unexpected. Get ready to make data-driven decisions with Co-op Ag Zone Field. Make a successful 2027 crop plan to meet your field's potential. Talk to your Co-op Grow team today.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved heavy truck auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m. Featuring triaxle, tandem, single axle trucks, including cab and chassis, decks, diggers, dumps, pickers, tractors, vacs, and service trucks. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's 4:01. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Mackenzie McLennan with you here from the Sports 1440 studios in West Edmonton Mall, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, lots going on at Play Alberta. You go to PlayAlberta.ca, you click the sports section. Then all of a sudden, on the toolbar, you click the Gregor Show. And there are the Jason Gregor Show daily specials. We've got back-to-back ? That's Toronto Blue Jays to win and Okamoto to hit another home run. It could happen, right? Jays in action at 4:40. We'll join that game in progress following the Gregor Show on our AM feed. We've got the favorite special, the Dodgers, Brewers, and Astros to find a way to get the job done. Then Deck selects the Mystics and the Valkyries, both to win just money line. So go check it out, playalberta.ca. and remember to use your game sense. So still to get to here in this hour, 5 questions. We'll be joined by Jason Strudwick, former NHLer. With these new NHL jerseys, I might have to ask him, of all the jerseys he's ever put on, what was his best and what was the worst? I think he might throw out that Islanders jersey, which will actually crush me because it was one of my favorites. But we'll have to see what Struddy thinks about that. Spec will be by Cam Tate and hoping to get to another NFL market as well. But right now, we'll get to the roundtable where Deck and Mac hop on the program and share their thoughts on a particular subject, and we discuss. Mac, I believe you're leading the way today on this one. Are you guys both going to go with Batman? That's the question.
Yeah, let's just keep the Batman talk going. Please.
Some people really love it.
Yeah. No.
Looking at you, John.
I won't talk about Batman anymore. I really hadn't decided what I was going to bring up, but things got a little chippy at the Eagles and Pats joint practice today. Word is that AJ Brown dominated the Eagles, but it's just practice. So I don't really hold a whole lot of weight behind that. But Devontae Smith was asked if he had talked to AJ Brown since he had been traded. And obviously we all know that locker room, things were fairly tense. And you know what? I don't mind that Devontae Smith is holding a grudge here because AJ Brown loved him when he was with the Eagles, but he has the prima donna down pat. He is every wide receiver stereotype, I feel like, that we see, unfortunately. And I just really like that Devontae Smith is holding a grudge, and I look forward to seeing these two teams play in the regular season. Sorry, there's not really a whole lot to argue here. I was just scrolling Twitter like 2 minutes before we started.
Yeah, first of all, AJ Brown really is the prototypical diva we think of, like Terrell Owens or Randy Moss without the talent. Not that he's not good, but just like, Randy Moss is one of the best receivers ever. Terrell Owens in his prime, incredible as well. Yeah, I don't really mind it. Like AJ Brown was a diva when he was there, wanted a pretty public exit. And this is the thing, like that Eagles team obviously won a Super Bowl, but was poised and built to win more. And AJ Brown was a huge piece of that. And so for him to say like, hey, I got my ring, now I want my touches, which to his credit, like we get a lot of texts about like, oh, where's the best chance to win? Like the player will take a pay cut to win. That's not always it. Sometimes players want their numbers and they want their paychecks, and I don't get mad at them for that. Like that's fine. Like obviously when you talk about some of the great elite players like Connor McDavid, yeah, he's playing for a ring. But like some of these other guys, do you think they're playing for a ring, or do you think they're playing for really good numbers so they can get another contract and get life-changing number? Like that's a reality for some of them. Now, AJ Brown obviously had the ring already and decided he just wanted to go get his numbers elsewhere. But he went about it in such a way that was so just detrimental to what that team had built and who they were that you can't be mad at Devontae Smith for not being happy with him.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That was a more articulate way of what I was trying to get across.
I mean, you're a grown man. That's your guy. He wanted to get out of there. I don't necessarily agree. Like, why not just say to the media, hey, we had great years. I wish him nothing but the best. And there's your answer. You control the narrative. Now we're like,
well, maybe because that's what you don't believe.
You're kind of a baby right now, man. Like
maybe you don't wish him the best.
Maybe you're both kind of babies. Well, then say that.
I do think
we know he's lying. Like, come on, like be honest. Tell us, you know what? Would have loved to have him here. And then what the narrative would have been like, man, that was a really respectable answer. He's very mature. Not like AJ Brown. Like, I just think like own it, get in front of it, control the narrative yourself. Don't let us speculate.
That's fair. I do think like a lot more went down there that we don't know about. And obviously like they can't talk about it because everybody's still playing. But if this is some kind of like doc, I don't know why they would make a documentary about the Eagles. Like they are a very good team, but it's not like Patriots good or Cowboys good in like the 90s. But down the road, I feel like we'll hear a lot more about the antics that were going on in the locker room and why it was such a big deal for him to get out.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to just trade away a guy like that.
Yeah.
And you wonder, going back, was there any concerns with the Tennessee Titans when they moved on from A.J. Brown? Deck, you and I were working that show live on the draft when it happened, and I couldn't believe it. I thought, what are they doing? Why would you trade him away? Now they wanted to contract with the A.J. Brown camp. Eagles were willing to pay it. Obviously helped them win a Super Bowl. So, yeah, it worked out good for both sides. But, I mean, I don't know. I think I'm still kind of a receiver defender. When I, playing high school football for a season at Shep, it made me see the way of the receiver, and I have to defend them now.
You can get inside the brain.
Yeah.
And understand the mindset.
In a way that not everyone can. That was me just on the sidelines pulling a TO. No, I was not good enough to do that. But yeah, you don't know. It's something we probably will never know until the book or the documentary drops. Deck, what's up with your...
Yeah, mine's kind of a weird one because it's like there's no way around this, but Jaden Higgins obviously injured today, out for the season. We saw Jamal Adams with a non-contact injury. Granted, that was a preseason game. It's a little bit different than a practice. Like, I don't know how many other injuries you can point to and say, this guy is out for the season, not just this year, but seasons past and stuff like that. And I say there's no way around it because you have to go to training camp. Duh. You have to practice. Duh. You got to get game reps in the preseason. Duh. But like, there just needs to be something I feel like done about this offseason leading right into the season here where we see like, not just I feel like we see handfuls of players walk away with season-ending injuries before the season even begins. And I don't know what we do about it. I have no answer. I was trying to rack my brain because, like I said, these things are unavoidable. You have to have training camp. Of course. You have to practice. Of course. You got to get game reps in during the preseason. Of course. But something needs to be done for these players with all these injuries before the season even begins.
Yeah, I agree with you, Deck, like 100%, because even at Elks training camp this year, there was a couple that happened, and like Woodmansey, he's been out, and then a couple other names as well, and they all happened during training camp. Like, and you plan your absolute best to have like the depth that can replace that, like injured guys and stuff, but what do you do? Because you need all of these reps. Like, can't have them in full pads all the time because injuries still happen. So
kind of like, you go back to when they used to do 2-a-days, and players talk about getting their bodies kind of acclimated to taking the physical contact. But then there's nothing you can do about non-contact injuries, right? Like, they're just going to happen. I remember a big one when Jordy Nelson had it. Teddy Bridgewater, almost lost his leg. It's crazy how these things can happen. And I agree, Deck. I wish there was something you could do. And maybe with the advancements in modern science, we find some things you can do to strengthen those tendons and find ways to not have them break. But at the end of the day, it's football. It's this game where guys are locking heads, and just look at the Tyler Biotish injury for the Chargers yesterday. It was a player on his team throwing another player to the ground and just buckled the knee. Shredded it. Apparently it's not looking very good for him. I just don't know what you do. Do you,
because it's literally a contact sport and you have to do these things, so in a large way it's unavoidable.
And we've seen teams try to limit tackling, and then you get to the week 1 and guess what happens? Your team can't tackle, right? You'll lose the football game because you're not used to that physicality,
or you get injured on a tackle there.
Yeah, exactly. I wish there was a way around it. One of the things, the Chargers have a really cool strength and conditioning coach, Ben Herbert, came over from Michigan. And one of the things he does to try to prevent concussions, because we know it's not just contact, sometimes it's like the whiplash. So they do a lot of neck training to try to prevent the head from whipping. So if your neck can stabilize, then hopefully the thought process is that you're not going to be whipping around back there and having your brain smash your skull. I don't know what you can do for the lower body to prevent those things, but maybe we'll get there.
this might be a really crazy, I haven't really worked it out in my head, so you guys can tell me if it's dumb. But if you kind of hook them up, kind of like you would for a zip line, and then you're kind of yanking guys as they're about to fully get tackled, so you can kind of prevent it, and there's mats around.
This isn't a serious idea, is it?
No, but maybe? I don't know.
Connor, what do you have next?
What's that NSYNC video when they're hanging by the strings. What's that called?
I think that was for Bye Bye Bye.
Bye Bye Bye. What's that called?
Marionette.
Marionette. You have like these players as marionettes, and right as they're about to get hit, they just get pulled back. But they get pulled back and whip their heads. That would be a wild concept.
Then they have to make sure they're doing their neck training.
I would love to see a team do this. Find a way. I don't know. I think like it's an inevitability in sport. It's just these things sadly happen. And probably since we've gone on air today, there's probably been another player who's gone down for the rest of the season due to an injury. And you hope you can avoid it. But becoming an NFL fan, like, I don't know if you guys know it. Higgins today, yesterday, Biotish. We had Kamara. He's going to be out for a month with the MCL. And maybe I just as like a fan of a team who always seems to get hurt. Don't you guys just expect it? Like 2 or 3 bad injuries in camp? Or is that just me in my history?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like had the Bills had anyone major go down yet? If not,
I was actually
probably will.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me look. I got to pull up the injury report.
I don't know if the Eagles have had anyone go down yet, but like every day we're just seeing it. A guy go down, and like, man, that would be so awful. If you're Jaden Higgins, like you're fired up to go into year 2, year 3, whatever it is, you go down. And now the road to recovery is so long, and their guys are out there on the field, and you go into the facility and you're getting worked on and you're doing the rehab. Like, it's a tough spot. And those guys who miss consecutive years due to injury, like, it's absolutely brutal. But there could be light at the end of the tunnel. I will say, I don't know if you guys saw that statistic coming out yesterday when it was NFL reception leaders in their career. And Keenan Allen, with 50 catches, can leapfrog like everyone and become right up there. In terms of receivers, he'll be like 3rd because he's at 1,055. The only active player ahead of him is Travis Kelce, who's 1,080. If he goes out there and gets 55 or even just 50 catches this year, he'll be into 5th all time. He'd surpass Chris Carter, Marvin Harrison, Tim Brown, Terrell Owens, Anquan Bolden, Reggie Wayne, and Andre Johnson. And that's a guy who like was called soft for years because of the injuries that he had. But it's bleak when those guys go down. Deck, I don't know. Did you look into it? Any Bills injuries?
Yeah. So like there have been some training camp injuries, but nothing season ending like that. We had to place Tyrell Shavers on the PUP list, but that was before training camp.
There you go. To get out of it, like without anyone going down for the entirety of the year, it's impressive. And maybe those are like the strength and conditioning coaches you need. MTR says you can't get hurt if you don't practice. Will says
you can't get hurt if you don't play football.
Yeah. We just don't practice. We play touch and someone goes down. Love to see more data comparing these non-contact injuries in turf. It seems like the injuries have increased along with the rise in field turf, especially teams like the Niners. Don't make me say it. The electric substation. There's power lines.
You're playing next to a Marvel villain.
There's power lines in LA too, and that could be a problem. Delta Valley Jeff, I wonder how much artificial turf plays into the injuries with these guys. I mean, that's been a long thought, and you hear NFL players talking about it like they want it. During the World Cup, seeing all these NFL stadiums with real turf, like any guy who had a Twitter account was putting it out there, would love to see this left for the NFL, and they could do it. Like the cost is expensive. And, some of the stadiums, it's a little bit tougher where you might have to have that track like the Cards have. I think the Raiders have it too. Goes out of the stadium. They bring it back in on game days. But if you're a billionaire owner, why not make that commitment to your players? And all that does, if I'm a aging veteran, let's say like Keenan Allen or Stephon Diggs, these guys who are looking for teams and can probably still just hop in and help, makes you want to play there more. Like, okay, I'm not playing on terrible turf. Like it's not just the ACLs and stuff, but getting tackled and driven down onto your shoulder, onto your back, tailbone, head. A little bit of a softer landing can go a long way. So, hey, that's just what I would do if I was a billionaire NFL owner. If I ever get there, I would convert my field to real turf. The 2 biggest foes on the 1440 text line texting in, MTR says Niners are banged up because they're old as dirt and they played so many games since 2019. Triple C in a truck says, MTR probably just went down with an injury, tripping on something in his mom's basement. Oh, Triple C in a truck.
You going to take that, MTR?
MTR is not going to take that. He's going to bounce back with something. Some shot at the Eagles. I want to get MTR and Triple C in a truck together over beers. I feel like they just chop it up, making fun of each other in a fun way. But yeah, it's an interesting one for sure. Afternoon, gang. Dex pissed about the preseason injuries because now he has to adjust his draft list. LOL from the King of Fort Nasty. Well, we haven't had too many. Like some sleepers have gone down for sure.
Ricky Pearsall.
Ricky Pearsall?
Jaden Higgins.
Well, Jaden Higgins more so. If you have Ricky Pearsall on your team, and I said this to Donovan out at the bar, why? You can't rely on him. Like
He's got some talent.
MTR says he doesn't play football. He had such a transformation going from ASU to Florida. If you ever want to laugh, like go look at him as a freshman. Guy like turned into Florida man. But he doesn't play.
Dude, it's like Hunter Biden's transformation. Or like Chet Hanks or something.
Chet versus Colin Hanks. I don't know. I wish the best for Ricky Pearsall. I want him out there because I think he can be a heck of a player, but got to get healthy. Got to find a way to stay out there. Shed the label of being an injured player and get back out there. I know Mike Evans wasn't practicing as well, but maybe that's it, MTR. Maybe you stumbled onto something here. Don't play, don't get injured. Use the regular season to ramp up. Got to fly all the way to Australia to get that one done. That's probably not going to help either. But maybe by week 3, week 4, you're all ready to go. It sucks. Hopefully we don't see any more, but I'm sure we will. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll get to more of your texts and also be joined by former NHLer Jason Strudwick. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Halley, Kruger, Mac sitting in, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Kickoff is coming August 21st. Elks, Blue Bombers at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's country night presented by Innova. Dust off that Canadian tuxedo and bring the hockey talk to the field. Get your tickets at goelks.com/tickets.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic. Low Tide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2. Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers The Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug in to your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
If you change your mind, take a chance on the touching lines. Take a chance on the
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Fundraise for your team or charity at On the Rocks. They'll make custom tickets for your event that include no line, cover, and one drink. You keep the profits. Learn more at ontherocksyag.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.422, welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, you can always go to the sports section, check out the Gregor Show special. The boost's always there. Or maybe you're more of a lotto guy or girl. Lotto 649's jackpot tonight, $14 million. PlayAlberta.ca. Remember to use your game sense. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here. We got MTR saying, Triple C is my biggest fan. Yeah, the back and forth you guys have. Could be a sitcom. Right now, we're going to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. The most wanted menu items from around the world have landed in Canada. Now the McDonald's World Menu Heist at select locations. Hurry in before we have to give them back. Only at McDonald's. We're joined by former NHLer, co-host of Got Your Back, Jason Strudwick. Struddy, what's going on today? We dropped the call. Declan whispered that in my ear right as we were going. I thought that was Struddy apologizing for something. Hammerhead says, thoughts on having 2 flex spots in fantasy football, full PPR? Yeah, why not? I mean, everybody knows the rules. Everybody has the same advantages or disadvantages. So I think that's fun. How many teams in the league? 10 team, 12 team? If you're in 12 team, that's really going to be like stressing the waiver wire, and everyone's going to be doing their research and their due diligence to see who's out there. But I don't mind it. If you got everybody in agreement, go for it. Heck, do 3-4 flex spots. Make it crazy. Jason Strudwick joins us now. Struddy, how's it going today?
Good. How you guys doing?
Oh, doing great, Struds. Question for you. How many Slurpees do you think you've consumed this summer?
Yeah, it's quite a few. But you know what? I've noticed that they're getting away from my favorite, regular Dr. Pepper and regular Mountain Dew. There's a lot of different and really like sour versions.
Yeah.
So, you know, I unless you go to somewhere, some of these extravagant places will have like, you know, like 16 flavors. Most have 4 or 8. So they're really going against they're going a little too crazy with their flavors. I like Mountain Dew and Dr. Pepper, even Coke. But now it's like there's like Sour Patch Kids, and it's good, but you can't drink very much. It's really, really sweet or sour.
Yeah, I'm like you. Like the Dr. Dew is classic, but I also like to go full Coke with a shot of grape or cream soda just to get a taste of it, right? Just a little on top. Now, we all age. It comes with, you know, living life, Struddy. I will say, I had my first Slurpee of the summer last week, and I got the worst brain freeze I think I've ever had in my life. Does it get worse with age, or was that just me maybe not being used to it?
Yeah, I think you're out of practice.
Yeah,
right? I have at least probably 1 or 2 Slurpees a month, at least, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously summer's a little higher, but I do get them in the winter, especially if I'm coming home. Let's say, you know, after whatever, everyone's out or everyone's in bed and I know I'm by myself, I'll have one, or if I'm afternoon, I'll have one. But no, I haven't had too many problems with the brain freeze. You just kind of got to get back in there, right? Kick the horse that kicks you off.
I honestly, like, it lasted 3 minutes. I had to walk it off. It was really painful. It's kind of been a deterrent for me, but I'll get back on it at some point here. There's too many locations for me on my commute home not to go in and get one, especially on a hot day. Struddy, Friday night, Elks and Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Let's start there because we just had Nick Anderson on the show kind of talking about how he's looking forward to the opportunity playing Brady Oliveira and the running back that he is, a team that likes to go to the run. For a thumper like him, that's fun. What are you expecting, and are you going to be making an appearance? Will we see Elkman in the crowd?
Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to try to go for sure. You know, we have a couple of little family towns to try to figure out those logistics. But I'll say this, I'd be really excited about the Elks, and I'm glad to hear they are for this reason. The Blue Bombers have kind of been the standard bearers of elite play for the last, 5 years, Connor, 5-6 years, somewhere in there, maybe a little bit longer. They've been really good. So, you want to become them, but to become them, you have to put them down, right? And you have to keep, you have to beat them, put them down, and let everyone know that you're now the top dog. in not maybe not just in the West, but in the whole league. So you look for opportunities when your team's trending in the right direction to put other teams down, to let everyone know that you are now the man. So this is a good opportunity. Now the Elks have had a great season, but every week's a new challenge, a new reason to get up and to get a win, and you're finding reasons to get motivated. Not that they need a lot. It's not like they've been, killing it the last couple of years, but they are in a really good role this year. Great game last week. So I look at this as an opportunity to kick a team that is, trying to stay at the top, but you want to put them down and let them know, no more. You're off. You're off the crown, or you're not wearing the crown anymore. We are.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. I mean, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you had the COVID season that was canceled, but they won in 2019. They went back, lost to Hamilton in overtime, bounced back, fell to the Argos, but they've been there, right? They've been representing the West, and that is a team to beat, essentially, with the exception of Saskatchewan last season. And I don't know about you. You kind of got a pretty good pulse on the city, obviously, with your hockey camps. You get a chance to talk to the kids a whole lot. Are you noticing more of a buzz and uptick when it comes to the Elks?
Well, you know what? I do. And I think, you hear people that really haven't talked to them for a number of years now are talking about, hey, are you going to the game? Do you want to go to the game? Let's go to the game. How are we going to get there? What are we going to do? And I think that's really exciting because I didn't feel that for quite some while. I felt that for the Riverhawks for a number of years now. Hey, let's go. Hey, let's find tickets. You got tickets? Can we get tickets? You want to get a box? What do you want to do? Like all that kind of stuff. And now just the last couple of weeks, I'm starting here with the Elks. And there's a few reasons. Obviously, I think they have the leadership that's in there. I think they have some exciting players. And, they're winning more games. And I think winning does matter. I really do think it matters. It kind of keeps you on the forefront of every mind. Like, for example, the Blue Jays, 3 weeks ago or so, I'd kind of fallen out. I'd always, if I, put the game on in the background and or check scores pretty regularly, then about 3-4 weeks ago, I'm like, yeah, I don't know about this going to happen. Now all of a sudden, I'm back again. What time are they playing tonight? Okay, maybe I can have it on, on the station with you guys, or I can just check the score, every couple of innings, or if I'm at home, can watch it. So winning does matter because it keeps you interested in like, hey, how did this guy do? What's this guy up to? Who's playing tonight? All that kind of stuff. So I think that makes a difference. And I think it's healthy to have all of our pro franchises here in Edmonton really doing well. And I believe, the one that needs to kind of keep moving the right direction is the Elk, because the other ones are all kind of in a good place or have been in a good place for a while.
Yeah, 100%. Two of the last three final appearances for the Oilers. The Riverhawks continue to draw really great attendance, get people out. And now that's kind of an interesting one because it feels like it's less win or loss based. Like people just want to go out there, enjoy the game. They lose, too bad. They win, you're in a really good mood, which is kind of unique in the sporting landscape, but very cool as well. As Jason Strudwick joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show, Connor Halley sitting in. Struddy, we turn our attention to the NHL. Yesterday, the day before, we kind of had those reports coming out that Cutter Gauthier had rejected the 4-year, $13 million contract extension with Anaheim. Now, the problem there is they have $13 million in cap space. They've got some wiggle room to work with the IR that can get them there to start this season. But that offer sheet from Leo Carlson and the Philadelphia Flyers, it put them in a real tough spot. Gauthier had 41 goals last year, a dynamic player. I mean, he's shown he's not afraid to, put his foot down and get what he wants. He's already been traded once. This situation for Verbeek and the Anaheim Ducks, it is messy. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but if you are management for Anaheim, what's the next move here?
Well, there's so many layers. So first off, the fact that the team does or doesn't have salary cap space, that's not the player's problem, right? He feels he's worth an X amount of money, and he's going to try to get that. And I agree with that. Now, if the team only has X, well, that's too bad. If I'm worth 120% of X, well, then you guys got to figure this out because that's what I feel I'm worth. Secondly, a player rejecting a contract isn't a rejection of the franchise. It's not a rejection of the manager. It's a negotiation back and forth. When you're selling something on Facebook, if someone you're selling for 100, someone says 6, you're like, what? This guy's an idiot. I can't believe it. Like it doesn't work like that. It's a back and forth. So there's still lots of time to the season starts. But Verbeek's known as a hardball negotiator, and that's what his job. His job is to do what he thinks is best for the franchise, and he's going to do that now. Looking back, probably locking up Leo Carlson last summer would have been the move. Obviously I look like a genius if I would have said that loudly last year. But now I think, quite frankly, the whole Pacific Division should be thanking the Flyers every day on the anniversary of that offer sheet because it's jammed up the Ducks. They're not going to be as good of a team this year. But let's just call it what it is. They lost some D-men. through free agency. Carlson, the D-man's not coming back. They made a big move to get him. They had probably expected to have a good chance to sign him, which they didn't. They have some veteran D-men back there. Now they have some younger players, but they won't be as good now with Carlson making what he is instead of his entry level. That's a big change. So the Pacific Division has changed. Ducks are trending in the right direction, and they are, but they're not going to be as good or as deep as they were last year. So I think that's a really good thing. And now this Katagoche situation, there's some veteran guys that are on expiring contracts, but if you call around and say, hey man, we'll take Chris Kreider and his six sheets. Yeah, no problem. First rounder. I'm happy to help. Just, we're going to do you a favor. And, so they know that they're in trouble. So Verbeek's in a tough spot. We've seen the Oilers in tough spots before in other teams, but the Flyers have really changed the dynamic in the Pacific Division, and they should be thanking them every year on the anniversary of that offer sheet.
I just look at this and I look at it from the Anaheim Ducks perspective. And you're right. Like, had they got this contract done a year previously, it's not a concern. Do you not put any fault at the hands of the Ducks and Verbeek? Because we just saw this in 2024 where the Edmonton Oilers, let Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg get to that position where they could get offered. Thought it was heads up management by the St. Louis Blues at the time, more so than this one, because this is just a crazy number. I feel like for the Blues, it was like, this is going to actually help our team. I'm not saying Philadelphia avoided a big mistake had that happened, but should GMs be not thinking like more and more, because we've seen it now twice in the last 2 years, that you really have to take care of your own?
I think you do. I think you got to get ahead of it. But guess where that power goes now? That power goes to the players, because they know that we have to get this done. Right? We've got to sign a deal. And now with the cap going up, there should be more wiggle room. More teams will have some wiggle room. I'm expecting now. Eventually, everyone's salary is going to go up, and that wiggle room will be gone. But next little bit here, I think there will be some wiggle room for teams that have their own draft picks that'll make that move. So yes, how do we protect our own? Well, we got to sign them as soon as we can and get them done. But now the player's like, oh, okay, so you want to sign me now? Yeah, that sounds right. We're gonna tick this up by a little bit. So yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. What's going on in the NHL? It's always evolving, and things are always changing. But those two examples are, they're similar in some ways, but very different because, it changed. The Oilers lost talent. And so the Ducks will as well, just because of how big this cap number. It is a monster cap hit, and that's going to eat up a chunk of their cap for a little bit here.
Yeah, felt like a little bit of trolling by the Flyers organization. Yeah. Like you said, the Pacific Division thanks them for it. As Jason Strudwick joins us here on the Jason Gregor Show, Connor Halley sitting in. Stray, some other news and notes from the NHL today. We found out that the NHL will be doing something a little bit new here. The hometown remix jerseys. Every team's going to have one for the upcoming season through the NHL and Fanatics. We'll see those, I guess, around September 29th is what they're saying. So let me ask you this. If you had to power rank your favorite 3 uniforms that you ever wore in your career, and I will say you've got some great ones to choose from, what are your top 3?
The New York Rangers Lady Liberty one would be number 1 for sure. I love that jersey. I think that's just a really classy jersey. I don't really see them wearing it much anymore. Now maybe they do, or I don't know. I'm not a huge jersey guy, but I've got one of those and I love it. I would say, I like the Oilers one that we had when I was here, just classic look, right? I like that one. And then I'd probably go with the Blackhawks black jersey. That was a really pretty classic, timeless jersey. You don't have to do much to change that jersey. Those original 6 ones, I think they're kind of timeless. They don't need to be adjusted too much or too often.
Now, I think you did. You wore the Captain Highliner for the Islanders?
I did, yeah. I wouldn't say that was a moment of proud. We weren't a very good team. The franchise was in a bit of a mess. And I remember this guy with sparkly hair was abusing me. I'm like, I'm just a rookie. I didn't make the jersey. I was yelling at him in the crowd as we were walking off the ice. It was a little bit dicey.
Outside of that one, was there one that stands out where you're like, yeah, it didn't feel good throwing that on?
Not that I can really think of. I didn't like the Canucks, and I didn't wear them as a retro, but the one that had that flying V, kind of around their neck, and it was black and then red and yellow. I think they wore it maybe a year or 2 after I left, and they were talking about it. And I was like, I never liked that jersey, and it's pretty rare because there's most things I do like, right, for jerseys, but that when you're turned off by like Captain Highliner and that one, that if I don't like it, there's probably a problem.
I was gonna say though, like your jersey, like the Rangers classic look all around. The Oilers when you were here, great look. Did you ever wear the all orange?
Man, I think I did. I think we did have it. Yeah. And I like that one too.
Yeah.
I did like it. I don't want Oilers fans to take this the wrong way, but that feels like when you want to wear when you're winning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that is one. I mean, the one I would have loved to wear in this Oiler was the dark blue one with the orange piping. Yeah. I love that jersey. That's my favorite Oiler jersey of all time. I never got to wear it. I don't have a jersey like that. My kids have a couple, and then the loud orange and blue. I did like that one as well. But I always felt like that was such a traditional jersey when the team was winning. I was like, I don't know, should we really be wearing this? We're not winning right now. And now they've been winning a lot and they wear it all the time, which is well deserved.
Yeah, such a good look. From my opinion, could be a little bit biased here. Jason Strudwick joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Struddy, New York Giants camp rolling on here so far. How are you feeling about your team?
Well, I follow a couple of websites and I'm checking them all the time, and I'm cautiously optimistic. I think that it's hard as having, the problem is it's hard to evaluate day by day, because one day I'm like reading the stuff like, yes, he's going to be the greatest. And the next day they're like, he had an interception and the team seemed out of sync with him under center. I'm like, oh God, we're going to just get destroyed. So I just want to see improvement, right? I want to see a step forward from him. I think the defense is going to be there. The O-line, hopefully, it's been like since you and I did the night show, I've been talking about the O-line for the Giants. I think you and I could build one even faster than these guys. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. But I think around 500, I'd be pretty happy with. And I've seen some people predict more than that, but it's been pretty dark the last couple of years. I don't know. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if that division. It could go either way. Can Jackson Dart take the right step? Does Cam Scatterbo stay healthy? That's a big one. I'm a huge fan of Malik Neighbors, though. So I think getting him the ball is key. And then defensively, obviously, you guys made some trades, but Arvel Reese looks like a player. Tremaine Edmonds is good, and you've got a stable head coach. So I think that goes a long way. My question for you, though, and if I can tell people, I don't want to, break our circle of trust, but you texted me July 16th, 1:45. Saw Najee Harris on our plane. I told her run for you this year. Now, you thought he was a Charger, but he wasn't. So after finding that out, did you tell him to sign with the Giants? Because he did.
So it's funny. We're on a plane ride. We went to visit some family in the States, and we're on a plane ride. And this really fit guy walks on the plane, and I'm like, oh boy, that guy's pretty sick. And I didn't even think anything of it. And my son right away is like, Dad, that's Najee Harris. I'm like, okay, no, he you're wrong. And then he gets the picture. I'm like, it is Najee, and he is so thick. Like, think of the most muscular guy. Not like a meathead that's just in there crank. I'm talking about an actual guy that can move and has athletic ability. His arms and back and legs were so thick. I couldn't stop staring at this guy the whole time. And in fact, it ruined my viewing experience of watching a movie. Looking at this guy, he was so jacked. So I thought, because I told him maybe he's going to sign in Houston. That's where we were going. I'm like, man, what a story. But no, he signs with the Giants. So I am excited about that. I think he's coming back from Achilles. Might take him a little while to get going, but Scatterbo, man, he plays on the edge. I worry about him having a full season, and they have some other guys too. But I think Najee, let's say he gets a few games in just to kind of find his game, and then if something happens, I think our man's going in there, and he is one thing. I couldn't imagine trying to stop that human when he's running. I just like, right this way, sir. The goal line's over there. See you later.
2 questions. Did his eyes look okay? Because there was a firework incident last year.
Oh, I didn't notice. I didn't get close enough. My son did. He was trying to get a picture, but he's fast. So Najee got off the plane, and then my son and my wife were chasing him down, but Najee was too fast. They weren't. Yeah, he's good. So he looks like his Achilles looks fine. He was moving well.
Vision was good, moving in and out of people. That's encouraging to hear.
Too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't hit anybody.
What I always say about him is, if you need 4, he'll get you 5. If you need 6, he'll get you 7. If you need like 10, he might get you 8. Like there's some limitations there, but short yardage, he'll get you that first down. I do have to ask, because it was brought up last week, and any Facebook sales recently?
Yeah, I've got a surprise. I'm going to be selling a bike, a workout bike that I've had, and it's quite a nice one. So I'm trying to just prep the right ad. I got to get the ad right, because it hits the market only once. You only made the first impression one time. So I'm hoping to have that up maybe next week, and then the deals are start flying. Let the bids come in.
I'm going to search it and just ask you if it's available.
Yeah, don't tell Gregor. He'll be harassing me. He'll buy a burner phone just to harass me.
Oh, why not? Why not? We'll get the real debate going. I want to see some of these sales that you're making, Struddy. Thanks for doing this today. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, great listening to you, Connor. Take care, buddy.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Jason Strudwick, former NHLer, now a longtime media personality in the city, TV, radio, and now the co-host of Got Your Back with Ryan Rashog. It is 4:42. We'll take a quick break here. When we return, 5 questions. It is the Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The Chicken Parmy Burger, McExtreme pulled pork, garlic and black pepper chicken McNuggets, cheesy bacon McFlavor fries, and the Stroop Waffle McFlurry. You've scrolled them, you've screenshotted them, you've never been able to order them until now. This is the McDonald's World Menu Heist. The most wanted menu items taken from around the world, now in Canada. Get them while you can. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Now's the time to shop with the Bricks 0% event. Get what you need today with absolutely $0 down. Pay nothing with no interest until 2028, or choose 36 equal monthly payments on qualifying purchases. Plus, save up to 25% on living room furniture, up to 20% on dining and bedroom furniture, and up to 40% on select mattresses. Hurry into the Brick today. These incredible offers are only on until August 19th. The Brick, saving you more.
I missed one payment, then another. Now I feel behind on everything. I can't keep up.
Falling behind happens to more people than you think, but there is a solution. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. Together, we can create a plan that fits your situation and helps you get caught up and back in control. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Hi, thinking about switching vehicles? Think Subaru. The Subaru Crosstrek was named the 2026 Auto Trader Best Subcompact SUV. And once you drive it, you'll understand why. With impressive fuel efficiency, legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, and generous ground clearance, the Crosstrek is ready for your Monday commute and your Saturday adventure. This month, take advantage of loyalty rates as low as as 0.49%. So, before you decide your next SUV, come experience the Crosstrek for yourself. Visit your local Subaru dealership today. Welcome to Uncommon.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's 4:48. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here as well. Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Text us 1-833-401-1440. Brad says, drawing a blank. What is the dark blue with the orange striping? I guess it could kind of be up to interpretation. When he first said it, I kind of thought it was that like playoff one they wore when they went away from the orange, and it was just the two colors, orange and blue. The dark navy. I thought that one popped. I know people didn't love it. But then it also could have been like the, I don't know, I think Doug Waite era. I'll have to maybe follow up with Struddy on that one. But he got the classic one. He got the good one. He also did get the RBK one. Unpopular opinion. I didn't mind those ones, actually. I don't like the Oilers orange jerseys. Once in a while, maybe, but not night in, night out. MTR had texted in, said Triple C is my biggest fan. And then Triple C in a truck says, love always to MTR and 1440. Yeah, put your weapons down. It's like the meme of the Crips and the Bloods connecting their bandanas. Peace has been achieved. Let's get to 5 questions with Declan Kruger. Brought to you by The Brick. The Better Sleep sale starts tomorrow. Save 40% on Sealy Crown Jewel Resort and mattresses. Get sheets starting at just $49 and buy one pillow. Get the second for just $10 only at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Okay, Connor, after talking to Ben Raven today, little Detroit Lions, what will Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jared Goff's stat lines be this year?
Oh, good question. There's a bit of a kind of process. They obviously changed offensive coordinators last year, and I think it kind of took a little while to figure out the strengths and the weaknesses for them. So last year we had 4,500 yards for Jared Goff, 34 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So I think yardage-wise, he's going to be right in that category. I think in terms of touchdowns, a little bit of an uptick. Let's go like 37, because I think, and from what I've heard, Jameson Williams looking pretty good at camp. Interceptions, I'll have him right around there as well. Jahmyr Gibbs.
At 37? At 37?
Interceptions or what? Touchdowns? Yeah. No. Like it was 8. Sorry,
you said 37 touchdowns and interceptions. I'll have him around there as well.
No. Sorry, last year it was 8, so I'll have him around there as well, give or take 1 or 2 up or down, but an uptick in yards and touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm going to say more rushing yards. I mean, there was times they really, I thought, leaned into David Montgomery, and I know you got Isaiah Pacheco, but I think you got to utilize Gibbs more so in the run game. So more carries, more yards. Let's give him 1,400 yards and 15 touchdowns. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, man, like he was targeted 172 times last year. That's going to continue. And I think they're going to be more accurate. So receptions, tough for me to say. Actually, I think receptions go down because I think they're ahead in more football games and they're continuing to run it. Ergo, the increase for Gibbs. So let's give him about 108 receptions, slight drop off in yards, 1350, and touchdowns. I'm going to say he gets to 12. So more touchdowns.
Okay. Question
No.
number.
What do you got? I want your thoughts. You got Goff as a potential MVP.
I do. Well, I'd throw him in a parlay because of the value. I think that's an important designation. I would say he'll go for 4,200 yards, 35 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I think we're pretty close there. Jahmyr Gibbs, 1,500 rushing yards, 14 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm going to say 101 receptions. He just gets over the mark. 1,217 yards and 9 touchdowns. Still all great years.
Mm-hmm.
All great years. Who is your do not take player in fantasy this year?
It pains me to say it. One for me would be Ladd McConkey. And
interesting.
I just think it's because I think they're going to move the football around, utilize Quentin Johnson. And I really do. I really think I am high on Trey Harris. They've also got 3 good tight ends who can catch the football as well, and some running backs. So I would avoid Ladd McConkey, and I'm going to throw Cam Scatterbo in there as well for the New York Giants.
I like the Cam Scatterbo shout a lot. Mine is like, I know he's going to carry such an insane workload, but I just think the team is going to be so bad that Devon Achane just makes me so nervous. Like, he's going to touch the ball 500 times, but they're going to be so bad. So, question number 3, who is your NL MVP pick this year?
PCA. Pete Crow Armstrong for the Chicago Cubs would be my pick. Is that like low-hanging fruit?
No, he's mine as well.
I guess it seems like that's kind of the obvious. The front runner right now. Is Shohei getting any love in this category?
They're really close in the betting odds.
Yeah, that taking those two kind of seems like a cop out. Could we find anyone else? I would love to go for someone from like the Brewers, but no one's really standing out to me. I think that Pete Crow Armstrong is kind of the guy. Now I'm looking at it. The betting odds aren't great either.
Yeah, it's like minus money as of today.
Yeah.
I think he was like plus 100 yesterday. It's like minus 145 today or something.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a fun player to watch this year. I think that would be the route. And the Cubs playing good ball, and he's just 24 years old.
Yeah,
he's got some upside.
Question number 4: which sports video game player was a cheat code for you when you would play Madden, 2K, Chell, FIFA, MLB The Show, etc.?
Well, in NHL, I don't think it was necessarily a player, but there were some years when you could just do a wraparound and then go like far post.
Yeah, dude, like NHL 06.
Yeah, like it always works. So it was a little bit unfair. But for me, I know what the popular answer will be for the older generation, but it was Michael Vick, Madden 2004. He was unstoppable. His speed was incredible. Me and my buddies, there was 4 of us. I was a Chargers fan. We had a Packers fan and a Vikings fan, a Patriots fan every once in a while. And we would just throw the Falcons in and we'd do like a fantasy draft. So we would start a tournament and all those guys would be involved. If you had Vic or Randy Moss, like you were going to win. Like Michael Vick was just unstoppable. You hang out in the pocket. And if you wanted to throw from the pocket, his like accuracy wasn't the best, but his throw power was unbelievable. But you just rolled out to your left every time and no one could set the edge. You could maybe try to control a player and have him go hang out there and just wait, but the spin move or the juke would get you. So for me, without a doubt, Michael Vick for the Falcons in Madden 04 was just, maybe it was 05, unbelievable.
Yeah, I think for me, like Steve Novak in 2K13, because the way I was originally going to phrase this question is like, who was someone you would always take when you did like a fantasy draft of like a restart, like restarting the league? Who was a player you'd always take? And Steve Novak was a guy for me. I would always get in like round 9 or 10, and he would just be my shooter off the bench, and he was so wet in 2K.
What I would like to do sometimes is I would put if I could get like Vic and then Antonio Gates, and I'd put Gates at tight end too, so he'd be on the left hand side. Make those throws easier when you're rolling out to him, running a little corner or flag route.
Yeah,
it was pretty sick.
Oh, ridiculous.
Bo Jackson, I'm sure, would be the popular one from the older generation, because from what I've heard, unstoppable. And then Family Guy had that kind of whole bit on the video games that were unstoppable. The corner 3, in one of the games too.
An NBA Jam or something like that.
Yeah, it's some good ones.
Question number 5. You're an Office fan. I asked you about this earlier. How would Michael Scott, Jim, Pam, Dwight, and Angela have voted in the 2008 election?
American election?
American election.
Michael would have voted for Obama. I think Jim and Pam would have voted for Obama. I think Dwight and Angela would have voted for John McCain.
I think you're right.
I think the explanation that Michael would have had for voting for Obama would have been hilarious. Would have brought race into it for sure. I don't know. I just kind of think that's the way they probably lean. What would you think the same way?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. 'Cause sometimes I see these like TikToks or these Instagram reel videos of people like assigning political affiliations to made up characters.
Yeah.
And I wanted to obviously bring that to 5 questions today, but I think you nailed it for those 5 characters. I guess there's a little bonus for this one. Is there an Office character that stands out to you that you think has a political affiliation that the majority might not?
Like main cast we're talking. Creeds would have been crazy. It would have been some like random one, I think, for sure. I don't know. Maybe
It's
Kelly.
a loaded question.
Like maybe Kelly, because she likes their style or something a little bit more. She might have had an interesting one. Ryan towards the end would have been telling you how both those guys are bad and, anarchy's the way maybe.
Well, Ryan would have been a libertarian just because it was against the grain until he found out what being a libertarian actually entailed. And then he swiftly would have gone back to probably being a Republican.
Yeah, I think so. I've always wanted, some shows do touch on politics. I always and now we're back with King of the Hill, but I think King of the Hill would have been a very good show to see what Hank Hill would be doing with the current administration. He's a big George W. Bush guy until they met and he had a limp handshake that kind of swayed his thoughts on him. I don't know if you watch King of the Hill or have seen that. Bobby saves a pig, then they get a chance to meet the president, and he has concerning thoughts about him because his handshake is not firm. And I try to have a firm handshake ever since I've seen that episode. I know some people try to break your hand, but any character you would be curious about their political affiliation?
Maybe Troy Bolton's dad from High School Musical.
I never saw it.
You never saw High School Musical?
No.
You got to watch it, man.
I think I was too old for it. I think I aged out, to be honest with you.
Yeah, for you, it would have been probably a little weird to watch it when it premiered, but check it out if you get a chance.
When did it originally air?
2006 or 2005?
Yeah. It was grade 12 of high school. It'd be weird if I was watching that. Probably would have got some looks, some things said about me had I been into that. No doubt it's probably good, but maybe in a few years we'll introduce Benny to it. Great questions, Deck. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we will get to Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. But first, an update with Declan, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. For the remainder of August, proceeds from every vehicle sold will go to the Summerland wildfire victims. Get a vehicle, a great vehicle, and support a great cause. Only at northgategm.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Some news coming down from the NFL as Vita Vea has signed a 1-year, $30 million deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Texans' Jaden Higgins has torn his ACL, will be out for the season. And cornerback Trevon Diggs joining the Seahawks on a 1-year deal. MLB scores right now. Rays lead the Jays 2-0 in at the top of the second. Reds and Cards, as well as the Giants and Guardians, tied 0-0. Diamondbacks and Red Sox tied 5-5 in the top of the ninth. Phillies lead the Marlins 3-0 in the top of the fourth. And the Orioles lead the Yankees 1-0 in the top of the second. Finals today saw the White Sox over the Cubs 3-0. Twins over the Braves 6-4. Mets over the Padres 4-2. And the Pirates beat the Tigers 4-3. In the WNBA, in about half an hour, we'll see the Toronto Temple and Washington Mystics. And at 8 o'clock, we got the Minnesota Lynx and the Golden State Valkyries. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 14. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Everything is going to be okay. Any business, regardless of size, can stumble occasionally. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. If your business is facing financial challenges, our team of chartered insolvency and restructuring professionals have corporate debt recovery solutions that work. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. Chances of a positive outcome increase if you engage Faber sooner rather than later.
When it comes to sports in Edmonton, Jason Gregor is a must listen. He brings you the inside scoop with guests from across North America. If it matters in sports, you'll hear it here first. Gregor rolls out weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports 1440.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
2006, we saw the launch of Twitter. JT was #1 with Sexy Back, and the corner of Jasper Ave and 118th was never the same.
On the Rocks, celebrate 20 years of OTR.
Friday, September 18th.
With Whale and the Wolf. Whale and the Wolf.
20 years of music and memories.
20 years of On the Rocks.
Friday, September 18th. Get in early. Jasper Ave and 118th.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience, All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
Ford employee pricing is on now, and you pay what we pay on virtually our entire lineup of Ford vehicles. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg Public Unreserved Heavy Truck Auction is next Thursday at 9 a.m. featuring triaxle, tandem, single-axle trucks including cab and chassis, decks, diggers, dumps, pickers, tractors, vacs, and service trucks. Info at maauctions.com.
Crave presents Canada's hottest take on reality dating. Temptations Under the Sun, Cyprus.
This is not like any dating show I've ever seen.
Canada's most daring singles face seductive challenges and unexpected twists under the Mediterranean sun as they earn points and bet on what happens next to unlock key advantages.
Is it going to be PG-13? I don't think so.
Don't miss the wildest reality show this country has ever seen. Temptations Under the Sun, Cyprus. Stream now, only on Crave. Subscribe at crave.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Big jobs, tight spaces, serious reliability. Emerald Equipment is now your local Yanmar dealer. Compact track loaders, mini excavators, wheel loaders, tough, reliable machines built for any job. JapaMachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Hey, Dad. The Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Head over, check out the specials tonight. Boosted, of course. Remember to always use your game sense. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McLennan with you here, getting you through the final hour of this Wednesday edition of the show. Still lots to get to in the program. We got Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. We'll get to the stats of the day, and right now we'll get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction. They're hiring operators, pipe layers, and a superintendent. Work for a fantastic company that loves to promote from within with great benefits. Also, huge sports fans. Apply today at gsconstruction.ca and search careers. Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet joining us today. Spec, good afternoon. How are things going?
Going great, man. How you doing, Connor?
Oh, doing really good. It's been a fun show so far. Earlier today, we were talking with Nick Anderson, middle linebacker for the Edmonton Elks, kind of talking about the season so far and just the steps that they've taken. And then this game on Friday and the way things have gone for him. He played at Tulane University. Things did not go good when he started. They were not a very good team. but kind of turned it around year after year, building up that culture. So what he's seen with the Edmonton Elks has been nothing new to him. He's kind of been there, seen what it takes to develop that culture, and he's been a great piece for this team, and that whole defensive core has been really good. As good as they have been spec, do you think as the season goes on here and just building up that chemistry, do you think they can become an even better defensive unit?
Well, I mean, generally speaking, every team evolves over the season, and if you're good, you evolve in a positive way, right? If you're a bad team, other teams start poking holes in what you do, and you realize, we're susceptible and we're not winning. I would look at the Elks and say the opposite is true. That defense gets better and better. I mean, they just allowed 12 points against Toronto. They've been really solid all season long. Their defensive backfield in particular is excellent. So sure, should they get better? I mean, we're only 10 games into an 18-game season, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's almost a half a season left to play. Absolutely. I like what I'm seeing. A team that's this good after 10 games should be even better after 18 when the playoffs start, and I don't see why the Elks wouldn't be.
Yeah, and it's a really important start here or stretch of the schedule for the Green and Gold. And, obviously getting two of the top teams 3 straight weeks with the Rough Riders back-to-back and then the Montreal Alouettes, that's incredibly tough. Going out of that with a 1-2 record, I think you'll take it, especially the way you responded against the Argos. But after that, you got Winnipeg on Friday, then you've got the bye week, 2 straight against Calgary. Those games are massive because right now in the Western Conference, like outside of Edmonton and Saskatchewan, which we know could change at any point, you've got a dogfight for that third potential playoff spot.
Oh, for sure. And like the Winnipeg games, we're getting to the point in the season. We're in the second half here. We're at the point where it's important now. Like Winnipeg's 4 points back of you. There's a big difference on Saturday morning. You're going to wake up and Winnipeg's going to be 2 points back of you or 6 points back of you. That's a big difference. You got Winnipeg at home. You won a game in their ballpark earlier this year. You've been a better team, and you are probably a better team. And this is where the good teams, flex a little bit, right? It's time now. We're in week 12. You've played 10 games. You've got Winnipeg coming in. Everybody knows where we are now. Like our offenses are established. Our schemes are established. Our defensive guys are, we know what they're doing, and it's working for them. So, there's no reason not to come up with a hell of an effort here on Friday. This is a game that I'm not going to say it's must win. It's not must win, but it would sure help if you want it. You'd love to put a team like the Bombers a little bit in the rearview mirror because that's an organization that has a winning in their DNA, and you'd love to have them a little bit of a distant view in your rearview mirror if you could, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. And I know we had John Hodge on the show yesterday of 3 Down Nation, and he was talking about how the Alouettes could actually clinch a playoff spot by week 14. Now, granted, the Eastern Division not quite as good, and also they have a record with only 1 loss. But for the Edmonton Elks, like the sooner you can get that playoff spot clinched, obviously, if you can get home field advantage, the more time to sell some seats and roll with the good vibes. Now, a lot of times people kind of say, yeah, we'll look at it after Labor Day, and that's when the season really gets going here. I don't know if I'm all in on that one, but there is some NFL cuts. Some players might make their way back to the CFL or looking for other avenues here. Is there any position of need right now, you think, for the Green and Gold?
Oh boy. I mean, I can't think of I'm not at practice every day, so I'm going to make that clear. But watching them play every week, I don't see an area where I say, oh, they're getting killed here. Their DBs aren't any good. Their DBs have been great. The linebacking core, when it's healthy, I think is really good. Can you always add a pass rusher and make you better? I'm sure you can add a pass rusher and make you better. Okay. Their receiving core, like how are you, what are we complaining about here? They got 4 guys that they're passing, moving the ball around to all over the place. Your backfield of Rankin and a Leak, is that getting any better anytime soon? I don't think so. You love your quarterback in Fajardo. So, I'm going to say to you, Connor, there's always a cut out there that if you can nab them, that they have a high pedigree, they're a better player. I'm not saying that every position is irreplaceable here. It's not the point. But they certainly don't have any giant holes that we're going, get out there and fill this hole because it's killing you every week. that does not exist on this Elks team where it has in the past. Is that fair?
I'm with you. Like, honestly, if you would have said no, the team is good as is, I think I would have been totally in agreement and content with you, because yeah, you could add a pass rusher for sure. And, if there was like a game breaking receiver out there that became available, I think you could consider it for sure. But I trust the team that they've built. I said it, this week, last week, when a player goes down, I'm intrigued now. Like, I want to see that next man up mentality and who it's going to be, because so far this year, I think we've just really seen the depth, and the coaching staff has these guys prepared. So for me, very, very encouraging for this team and the depth. And we'll have to see. Maybe other teams improve and gets a little bit closer. But yeah, I think the Elks are in a really good spot as is. As Mark Spector joins us here on the Jason Gregor Show, Connor Halley sitting in on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Spec, we saw the news earlier today from the NHL. We're going to get some hometown remix jerseys this year for every NHL team. I mean, it's kind of silly not to. It gets buzzed around the league. It pops up on social media, which is always good. And then, of course, the diehard fans are going to buy these jerseys. We've seen this kind of pop up in the past with the reverse retros. Do you have any desire, any dream you think that would be a good look for the Oilers for this hometown remix?
I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I get it. I get what they are. They're just a reason to buy more stuff, right? Is really what it is. I don't. I am a traditionalist, right? When I saw that, remember the Montreal Canadiens light blue jersey?
Yeah.
Like, that to me is heresy. Like, that's whoever invented that thing and said, we're going to put that on the Montreal Canadiens, they should never work again in the industry. Right? So I'm not I understand it. This all started, in my understanding, in English football, where every time they went to another tournament, and as we all know, they have a million different Carlsberg cups and stuff over there, they invented another patch or another uniform just so people had something fresh to buy. Because, that's the industry. It's a business. It's about separating your fan from their dollars and giving them something to wear around town in return that advertises your team. That's what it is. So are they going to do it? Yeah, they're going to do it. Do I care what they do or how much or how it looks or what color it is or blah, blah, blah? No, it's just revenue, man. That's all it is. It's just about revenue.
Yeah, and I'm kind of with you in some respects there, where like you see it in the NFL, like when those longtime traditional teams, the Packers wear their retro jersey, or the Steelers, it's like you don't really need to. Like the Canadians, the Blackhawks, I don't need a new look jersey. I think you could probably just roll with what you got.
I love the fact that when the Blackhawks come to town, one of the redeeming features, even when the team's not very good, is watching those uniforms come out of the tunnel. Even if we don't always know who's wearing all of them because they're in a rebuild, I love the fact that old, whatever we're calling it, we used to call it an Indian head. I guess it's probably called something more politically correct now. The old Blackhawk. That's a really, really cool traditional jersey. I'd be sour if I went to a game all year and it was the Blackhawks and they came out in a green jersey like they do on St. Paddy's Day. When I watch the Habs play, I want to see that Habs jersey. I don't want to see some goofy third other city jersey. Doesn't interest me in. The Oilers have a traditional, historic, excellent jersey that they wear. Like Edmonton's jersey means something, man. And are we going to change it every year and throw out something else? I guess we are, because again, back to revenue. But as a hockey fan, do I need to see variations on the theme every year? No, not me, man. I don't need to see it at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw it with the Boston Red Sox when they were playing the Athletics, and it was the Friday night, so they wore the City Connect jerseys. It was green and yellow. Like, it looked like the Athletics were playing the Athletics. Yeah. So I'm okay with it for some teams. Like the San Diego Padres, you know what? We have fun with it. Go do whatever you want. But some of those traditional teams, I think I'm with you. Just stick with what you got. Specca, earlier on today on the show, Declan was mentioning the MVP candidates in the National League, and it was unanimous for us from the Chicago Cubs. Pete Crow Armstrong. What have you thought of his play this season? And, a lot of reasons to be excited as he is just 24 years old.
Oh my God. Yeah, no. And I mean, full disclosure, obviously I'm a Cubs fan, but regardless of that doesn't even matter to me. He is the most exciting young player in the game, right? He's only 24. I've said it before on the show here, Connor. He plays like Pete Rose used to play, like Charlie Hustle, man. Every single, he's hoping to stretch it into a double. He hits for power. He hits for average. He runs the bases like a demon. He covers ground in center field like as good as any guy out there. And he's a gamer. Like, he's got spirit. When he comes up on the 10th and closes the game with a home run, when he opens the game with a leadoff homer, like, he's got some chutzpah, you know what I'm saying? So I love the guy. I love the player. I'm really happy he happens to play for a team that I like watching play. But at this point, with Shohei not pitching in the regular season, I don't see how anybody beats Crow Armstrong the way he's playing down the stretch for the Cubbies here. Do you?
Yeah.
Who's next in line? Is it Alvarez in Houston?
Well, so for the NL, Pete Crow Armstrong is minus 155. Next is Shohei at plus 125. Alvarez in Houston for the AL MVP is actually minus 1,200. So
Really?
they're saying essentially just give him the award. Like, it's pretty much done.
Wow, that's something. So
Yeah.
there you go. And you know what? The kid's going to get rich. I don't know what his contract status is, but you build a team around players like him. And the Chicago Cubs aren't getting outbid by anybody for this guy. They're not the Milwaukee Brewers, right? They're the Chicago Cubs. They got as much money as anybody. So you know what? If you haven't watched, like I'm telling you out there as a baseball fan, if you're a guy that just watches the Blue Jays and haven't seen the Cubs play, I get it. But if you get a chance to watch this kid play a little bit here, they're playing the White Sox, I think, again tonight. He's just a ton of fun, man. When he comes up, it's kind of like when McDavid starts out behind his net with a puck and everyone in the crowd goes, oh boy, I better not look away because something great might happen here. It's really the same when Crow Armstrong walks into the batter's box, man. Something fun's going to happen.
Yeah, what a guy to have, especially, kids of Chicago baseball fans, that you need someone to emulate your game after. There he is right there, as Mark Spector joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Just looking at the AL odds right now, Cam, Schiller, is currently leading the way. He's minus 170. Dylan Cease for the Jays, second place odds here, but 7-5 on the season. Teams obviously battling for a playoff spot. And Dylan Cease, I feel like there's been times where the team just implodes and ruins his fantastic starts. Do you think he can make a late season push here?
Well, I don't know. I guess it depends. I don't know what, there is no sport with a deeper collection of numbers to be studied than baseball. Okay. We think hockey's got analytics and there's a lot of ways to look, as a voter, there's a lot of categories to look at. And some of us dig deeper than others. Baseball's a whole new ball game, man. There's analytics in baseball that I've never even heard of. So I would say this to you, if you're going on wins and losses, no, Dylan Cease probably not there because he hasn't had the run support. But I don't think they are. I think the savvy baseball voter is looking at statistics that I wouldn't even know where to find. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't even know where to find them. But is his, I guess what I'm saying to you is he having, regardless of win, loss, and ERA, which are prehistoric statistics in baseball, go deeper for me. Tell me if he's having a better season than everybody else in all those other statistics that really matter for a pitcher. I don't know the answer to it, but that's where you're going to find out if he's going to win the race or not. It won't be with facile stats like WL and ERA. It'll be much, much deeper than that. Will it not?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you just looked at it, like I said, entry level, the 7-5 record isn't going to be blowing too many guys away. But when you look at ERA, he's fourth in the league in terms of innings pitched. He is right up there as well. I'd have to go look at the WAR right now, which is 5. That's the same as Jacob Mizorowski with the Milwaukee Brewers, who's got the best ERA and 12-5 record on the season. So, I mean, I think the numbers have been there. Maybe it's just your preference with the two sides. Cam Schlittler will have the better numbers when it comes to win totals, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, in for, win totals for a pitcher, they used to mean a lot. I'm not sure how much they mean. He just hasn't had run support. I'm sure you can find the stat on run support. I'd love to know where Dylan Cease ranks with those other guys. on how much run support he's getting every day, because that could render your wins and losses to be. You can't blame him if his team never puts any runs across the plate when he's pitching. You can't hold that against him. So, it's kind of like goals against average and save percentage for goalies. It depends how you want to look at them. They don't always mean the same thing, right?
Yeah. Looks like his run support is 3.59 per game. That would be the 10th lowest here.
10th worst?
10th worst, yeah.
10th among how many pitchers?
This right now is the 53. So Chris Sale is 5.28, Paul Skeens 5.41, former J. Robbie Ray is 5.44. So they're getting a little more help.
And those guys are getting 2 more runs a game.
Yeah.
So I guess, again, just as a voter, I'm going to look at win-losses, but then I'm going to dig deeper and go, well, how come he only has 7 wins? Well, now I know why he only has 7 wins, because he's ranked, 43rd in your list. So, you know what? Listen, the voters, when they think about baseball, I find that the voters, it's a wide range of guys. They're very statistically well-spoken. They know what they're looking for and where to find it. And I don't know. I would say to you that if you look back, I always say this about the PHWA and our voting. You can gripe about one award or one all-star berth in a single season, but go big picture and look back 15 years at the 5 awards and all-star teams we vote on every single year. Big picture, the PHWA is batting about 98%. And I think the baseball guys are as well.
Some names just to throw your way. So Cam Schlittler, who was above in the odds, he's 3.39 compared to Cease's 3.59. And then how about this? Kevin Gosman, 3.36. So
really
another former J now with your coverage.
Former J.
Spec, thanks so much for doing this today. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good, Connor.
There you go. Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet joining us as he always does just around 5 o'clock here on the Gregor Show. Sparky says, hey guys, what does Bobby Witt Jr. not get the love like Pete Crow? Is he underrated or am I overrating him? Yeah, I mean, Bobby Witt was he was getting pretty hyped a few years ago. Maybe that's dropped off a little bit. I don't know. He's a heck of a player. Hitting 287, 15 home runs, 47 RBIs. I thought Pete Crow was a little higher in the RBI category. Yeah, he's got 79. So Witt has him in average. Crow has double the home runs and more hits. So at the plate, one guy is kind of running away with it outside of average, and it's just a few points off there. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why he's not getting the love. Also, the Royals, I don't think, are in the same category as the Cubbies in terms of national media. So that could be it too, Sparky. Bad Captain. So let me guess, $600 for a jersey? Yeah, well, probably $250. Maybe it goes up a little bit. I haven't bought an NHL jersey in a long time, so I don't know the exact cost, but I think they're around $200. And then you factor in if you're going to get a name on top of that, it probably adds up quick. Jordan says, bring back dark jerseys on the road. I want to see the best of the opposition's jerseys, like Detroit's red. I'd have no issue with that, Jordan. I think that's great. I like what the WHL does, switching it midway through the season. So the first half of the year, you let the home team wear the dark jersey, and then on the road, or in the second half, you switch it up so you get a chance to see all those teams coming in. I'm with you. It's something little, but I would not disagree with you for having that one. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll get to the stats of the day and potentially Cam Tate's 2-minute warning if he has sent it in. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
Crispy caramelized edges, a pillowy, airy center. Meet the new Papa John's Pan Pizza. Made with Parmesan and Romano cheeses, Papa John's special garlic sauce, and Italian seasoning, all baked directly into the bottom of the crust for a signature golden finish and crispy, savory crunch. Grab a medium pan pizza for just $16.99 today at your local Papa John's. Order now in the app or at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Tee up for a great day on the course and support the Stony Plain Eagles Senior Men's Hockey Club. It's the Stony Plain Eagles Golf Tournament. Gather your foursome and join the Eagles August 25th at the Links at Spruce Grove for a 2 p.m. shotgun start. Enjoy a fantastic afternoon of golf, great company, and friendly competition, all while supporting the Stony Plain Eagles. Get all the details and register today at stonyplaineagles.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Now's the time to shop the Bricks 0% event. Get what you need today with absolutely $0 down. Pay nothing with no interest until 2028. Or choose 36 equal monthly payments on qualifying purchases. Plus, save up to 25% on living room furniture, up to 20% on dining and bedroom furniture, and up to 40% on select mattresses. Hurry into the Brick today. These incredible offers are only on until August 19th. The Brick, saving you more.
Election Day is October 19th. Are you referendum ready? Start by making sure you're registered to vote and your information is up to date, especially if you've recently moved or changed your name. Then, check if you have the identification you'll need to vote. The easiest option is a government-issued photo ID showing your full name and current residential address. But there are more than 50 ways to prove your identity. Find everything you need to be referendum ready at elections.ab.ca/voters. A message from Elections Alberta.
Is it time to upgrade your golf bag? From August 6th to September 8th, the Leduc Golf Club Pro Shop is participating in the massive Callaway 2x trade-in bonus events. Bring in your old clubs and get double the trade-in value, up to an incredible $825 towards the purchase of new eligible Callaway gear. Upgrade to the latest Quantum Woods, Apex Irons, X-Forge, or Reva Rise clubs. Maximize your trade-in value today. See the Leduc Golf Club Pro Shop for details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque. Made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at CanTorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$15.40. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Mackenzie McClendon with you here. Jays in Action will join it following the show at 6 o'clock on our AM feed only. If you're streaming, you got Fox Sports Radio. Jays just hit a home run. Alejandro Kirk, the captain, cutting the lead in half. It was 2-1 for the Rays now, 2-0. Now it's 2-1. Blue Jays playing some great ball. Got to keep it going. Got a pretty tough opposition tonight, though, in the Tampa Rays. See how it works out for them. Still to come on the show, we will get to the stats of the day relating to Guy Lafleur, who on this day signed a new deal with the New York Rangers to come out of retirement after a couple of years at the age of 36. So we're going to look at some numbers that the old guys getting the job done. But right now, we'll get to Cam Tate's 2-minute warning, as we do every day here on the Jason Gregor Show. Shout out to Tater, hooking Donovan and I up with a nice beverage this afternoon. The 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No OT charges, furnace repair, and maintenance. Do it now with LegacyHeating.ca. Here is Cam Tate's 2-minute warning.
Okay, Edmonton, sports fans, especially you golf lovers, listen close. Actually, no, don't listen close. That's the whole problem right there. There really isn't any way around this one. It's big tea time season. Half of you are whispering like you're trying to defuse a bomb. So here's the technique. You don't dislike a leaky pipe tire. You drop your voice, not your volume, barely move your lips, loosen the jaw, and for the love of Wanye Gretz, stop cupping your hands like you're calling it a snow day. Exhale first. Speak on the way out. That's the entire secret. Part 2, Edmonton. You've mastered whispering. Now, can you receive one? Because half of you turn your whole head like an on hill. What? Dead giveaway. Amateur hour. Real technique. Tilt. Don't turn. Lead with the ear, not the face. Stay still. A whisper's not a fastball. You don't have to lunge at it. Mouth closed. Breathing quiet. Stop nodding before you've actually heard the thing. Nobody's fooled. And on the course. It's everything. What? What? All. Because Edmonton golf fans don't whisper. Fans get removed. Sky Sports hat. Same target. Gone. ESPN reported that one. Memorial 2021. PGA Tour started ejecting anyone who yelled Brooksy at Bryson DeChambeau. Confirmed by golf.com. British Open 2014. Eckler gone mid-tournament. Sports Illustrated had the story. 4 times. 4 ejections. 0 whispering involved. Big news, Edmonton. The CPKC Women's Open tees off this week at Royal Mayfair. LPGA's marquee Canadian stop. 3rd time hosting. Past champs include Lorena Ochoa and the 15-year-old Lydia Ko. Starts tomorrow. Sunday. Gallery. See everything you can. 2-minute warning. I hope Kruger hears this. Guy talks my ear off and he's so loud. Sports 1440.
Do you actually talk his ear off, Deck?
I don't think
And you-
a little, maybe. I don't know. I don't think so.
You only talk loud when you're excited, so. And you get excited about sports. You're passionate.
I get fired up. I get passionate. Now, I don't know if we can always talk about 15-year-olds with that voice. That
Yeah.
would be my edit for that. But other than that, it was pretty good.
Man, that kind of sounded like a ransom video or call with that voice. Fitting for what's going on in our city. Mackenzie, you were down today. We got the CPKC Pro-Am, and then the Open gets going tomorrow.
Yes.
You and not Declan, Brandon, the Duke, checked it out today. How was it? How's the course looking?
Really good. Honestly, I was a little bit worried because we've had so much rain. And I've listened a little bit with golfing with the G-Man, and lots of course superintendents and stuff have said that their courses have struggled.
Mhm.
And I golfed at Alberta Springs, obviously not to the same scale of the Royal Mayfair, but there was like 6 holes that were shortened. So it looked really good. It honestly didn't even feel like we were in Edmonton with how everything was set up. I've never been down there. You're in the middle of the city, but it doesn't feel like you're in the middle of the city. It's crazy.
Yeah, right by Horlac, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you go down the hill and you kind of walk by Horlac as you're going into where everything is. But they have like a ton of infrastructures in there, lots of like specialty seating at certain holes and stuff. And we saw a little bit of availability. I'm blanking on her name, but we caught like the last couple of minutes of her speaking. And yeah, it was really good. I'm going to go out again on Sunday, catch, I guess, the final round.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think a lot of people will be down there on Sunday, so it'll be a lot of fun.
I'm always so impressed by those people who, when they're teeing off, stand right down the fairway. Like, I'm always so like, if it was me, it'd be a slice right into their heads. But these golfers are so good, no fear. You're just standing there watching them, and it's like a thin fairway, a thin tee box, and yeah, they don't seem to have any concern about it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, we watched a couple pro-am holes.
Yeah,
and I was like, this really puts into perspective like how bad regular people are at golf, i.e. myself.
Yeah, exactly. They're built different for sure. All right. Why don't we very quickly here get to the stats of the day, brought to you by All Start Construction. Founded in 2009, they continue to grow. They're hiring general laborers, HVAC operators, backhoe operators, gas piping technician, and more. Go to Indeed.com and search All Star Construction. And it was, like I said, on this day, way back in 1988, there was a signing that probably shook the hockey world at the time. I, was not old enough to really remember it, but Guy Lafleur signing with the New York Rangers after a couple years outside of hockey. He would go on, he turned 37 earlier on in that year, puts up 45 points in 67 games. Not bad stats at all for a guy who might have been a little rusty, then ended up wrapping up his career with the Quebec Nordiques. We know how good he was throughout his NHL career. So pretty good numbers for a man of that age. I rounded up to 40, and I just wanted to look at some of the players who had great seasons at that age. The best season by a 40-year-old. Declan, any guesses on who it might be? Best season as a 40-year-old player in the NHL.
I'm trying to think of who like even made it to 40.
It's not Jaromir Jagr.
I was
in his 40-year-old season.
Corey Perry.
Gordie Howe.
Oh yeah, that tracks.
Mr. Hockey at the age of 40 years old. If you had this is unfair of me to put you on the spot, but how many points do you think?
Ooh, 57?
104.
At the big 40?
Yeah, 44 goals plus 44. Johnny Busick, when he was 40, had an 83-point season. Timo Solani, 80 points. Ovechkin, 64. And how about Nick Lidstrom, 62 points? Guy was a -2 that year. Alex Delvecchio, for going back in time, had 59 points. Recchi, 52. Alfredson, 49. And the Moose, 47 points with 15 goals. Adam Oates had a good season, 45 points. So guys getting it done. Now, after the age of 40, Jaromir Jagr would probably be the one that comes to mind because he played forever. He had 257 points. Gordie Howe second, 164, meaning after that outstanding season, he put up 60 more points. Mark Recchi got into 119. Timo Solani, 117. Mr. Messier popping up again, 159. Zdeno Chara had 53 points. That's good for 10th best. Nick Lidstrom, 34. Whitney, the Wizard, 32. So some guys putting up points after the age of 40. Now, Declan, this might be one you're probably a little bit better at. After the age of 40, which NBA player do you think has the most points?
LeBron James.
How many do you think he has?
Oh, just since turning 40?
Just since turning 40.
Probably like 2,300.
Did you look it up?
No, is that right?
2,309.
Yeah, man. Don't ever come at me when it comes to LeBron James.
How many games?
Oh, it would be probably like 110.
102.
102.
Playing 33 minutes a night. Now, if we're going to go look, Kareem second in points, but played, 54 more games than LeBron. Do you know who played in the most games after the age of 40?
After the age of 40. Is it Robert Parrish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy knows ball. 272. Do you know who has the next most? This is my guy from back in the day. Vince Carter.
Yeah.
And then Kareem third. Now, we have to assume LeBron James. How many games he gets into this year? We'll find out. But he'll track down a few guys there. Now, after the age of 40, who do you think played the most minutes per game?
LeBron.
He's second at 33.8. This guy played 39.9 minutes per game after the age of 40.
In the NBA?
In 30 games played. This team needed him.
How recent was this?
I'd say mid 2000s.
Mid 2000s.
Some say he's the greatest player of all time.
Oh yeah. Oh sorry. I guess with the Wizards.
Yeah,
right?
Michael Jordan. Yeah,
that
to play
makes sense.
40 minutes a game. That's probably always like, you know what? I think I'm out. LeBron played the second most at 33.8 so far. Karl Malone 32.7. John Stockton 28.4, and a few other guys in the category. Steve Nash was there at 19. Ginobili 20. Jason Kidd over 25 minutes, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fifth at 26. Those are your stats of the day. Declan knows ball. That's another thing we learned. That's a stat you can take to the bank. Brought to you by All-Star Construction. When we come back, we will get to a few more of your texts. Also, if you want to go to the Elks and Blue Bombers game on Friday night, just tell us right now, who's your favorite current member of the Green and Gold? Text it to 1-833-401-1440. We'll pick a winner after the break. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
if you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable,
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
and with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At GS Construction, we won't quit until we find a way to get the job done. And the right person makes all the difference. We're looking for our next superintendent, an experienced leader ready to take on the role. Because while GS Construction is building the water, sewage, and drainage systems Edmonton communities rely on, the superintendent is building up the team. If you know how to keep a job site safe, productive, and moving, we want to hear from you. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
Starting this Thursday, 3 days only. Don't miss the VIP Overstock sale at Wolf GMC Buick. They're seriously overstocked with over 400 pieces of inventory on clearance and ready to move. Explore the entire inventory right now. Click on the clearance tab at wolfgmcbuick.com. Plus, employee pricing continues. And during the VIP Overstock sale, stop in for even more special incentives. That's Thursday through Saturday at Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Chicken Parmy Burger, McExtreme pulled pork, garlic and black pepper chicken McNuggets, cheesy bacon McFlavor fries, and the Stroop Waffle McFlurry. You've scrolled them, you've screenshotted them, you've never been able to order them until now. This is the McDonald's World Menu Heist. The most wanted menu items taken from around the world, now in Canada. Get them while you can. For a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
We're here with Rob Vavrick from CanTorque Raceway. Rob, tell us about the next event coming up.
Yeah, we always say it's bigger and better outside as the Midas Monster Truck Throwdown returns to CanTorque Raceway for 3 shows, August 21st to the 23rd. We've got 8 trucks from Alberta, Ontario, and the U.S. For those that may not be familiar, our oval track is the size of 3 football fields, so these trucks can reach speeds of well over 100 kilometers an hour and do insane, crazy stunts like a backflip. Plus, not only will the drivers sign autographs for everyone until the very last fan, but we're also offering rides in a monster truck. You will not get this experience at any other monster truck show.
Sounds like fun.
In addition, we'll also have freestyle motocross going on with the riders doing absolutely insane jumps and stunts. And lastly, there's a limited number of pit party passes available. That gets you early admission to meet the drivers, get pictures with the trucks. You're not going to get this opportunity at any other monster truck show.
Rob, where can people get more information?
Everything is at radraceway.com. Once again, that's radraceway.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Nation Golf Tournament. Friday, August 28th, 2026 at Miltwoods Golf Course. Golf, drinks, swag, food, and fun. Every swing supports Gregor's grads and helps graduates shine on graduation day. Sign up at nationexperiences.ca before it sells out.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Before we hand things over to the Blue Jays on the AM feed, Fox Sports Radio, if you are streaming. Not going great for the Bluebirds down in Tampa. Some sloppy fielding with the bases loaded. It hasn't been very good. That 2-1 lead is no more. The Rays now up 6-1. They're reviewing a play at first, and he's safe. So the inning will continue for Max Scherzer, 1 out, runners on first and second, bottom of the fourth. We had said earlier we're going to give away 2 more tickets. So who should we let, Declan or Mackenzie, pick the winner? What do you think, Deck?
Mackenzie can pick the winner.
Okay, Mackenzie, I'm going to give you some letters. I need you to pick one. R, C, B, P, M, K, B.
Pick one.
Pick one letter.
Let's go K.
Kevin, you are the winner. You said Cody Fajardo. If you want to, please text me your email and full name. I will send you 2 tickets to the game. If you did not win, no worries. You could do so tomorrow on the show. We'll give away some more tickets. And of course, we like to make it nice and simple. Remember, when you do enter, just include your name at the very least so we can respond and get back to you. Because we did have one that came up for Keon Julian Grant, but no name. So I couldn't even have you involved in it. Also, if you want to buy tickets, let me know. I got an email. I can pass it along to you. And you can check in with my guy, my hookup for tickets for the green and gold. Declan, you had some interesting news there at the last Sports 1440 update. Vita Vea signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that looked like that was something that wasn't going to get done. It kind of felt like the Bucs were not willing to pay more money for the veteran nose tackle. He had said California, where he's from, or Vegas would be a destination he might like to get to. Then it kind of faded away. And I don't know exactly how it was playing out in Tampa, but at the time I thought, okay, you trade him and then maybe you have a little more cash flow for Baker Mayfield. Get him locked up for the next few years here. They go the other way and they hand Vita Vea, you said $30 million for 1 year?
$30 million, all fully guaranteed.
Oh, good for him. Good for him. So I would say that's a pretty nice move for the Bucs organization. I think that keeping him around, good for morale, good for the guys knowing that if you do get drafted by this team, they'll take care of you. Now, here's my question for you. Do you know his full name?
Oh, no, because I assumed... Well, actually, now that you even say that, I assumed like Vito would have been the shortened one, but it very well could be the last name as well. So no, I do not know.
Tavita, Tuli Aka Ono, Tui Pelotu, Moses Vahe Vahoko, Feletua Via.
Okay, so a little longer.
A little longer
than Vita Vea.
A little longer than Vita Vea. Yeah, when you see that, you're like 7 letters, stud. That's how I base my football knowledge. If you have like the fewer name or letters you have in your name, makes you a better football player. That's why Joe Alt is so good.
Tom Brady?
Tom Brady. Very good. Very simple. Drake May. There's just guys that have it. Vita Vea. But his real name, Tavita Tuliakiono, Tui Pelotu, Moses Vahe Vehoko, Failto Vea. And I added a couple because I butchered it there, but you get it. It's a mouthful. Only the true Buccaneers fans would really know about that one for sure. We just had 3 texts come in saying Blanchard with no name. You got to include your name. Remember that to 1-833-401-1440. just sticking with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers deck, I'd like to get your thoughts on this one. If you are the team, you found a great way to bring in Tom Brady. I'm trying to think, like before that, you had Jameis Winston. Then you get Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield's career path was wild. Obviously, the Browns moved on. He went to the Carolina Panthers, ended up with the LA Rams. And then after some pretty good time there, actually, gets signed by the Bucs, where he has had success. Your future might be bleak at that position. You've got Jake Browning as the backup. You have Jalen Daniels, who you brought in as an undrafted free agent. But you got some good receiving weapons, you know?
Change the fifth name of his letter, out of respect, for Jaden Daniels.
Oh.
It's actually the fourth, but the joke was, it was right there.
Well, Jalen. Yeah, it's a good move. You kind of have to pay Baker Mayfield, don't you? Like, I'm sure they're going to get it done, and maybe they're just not in a rush to make it happen, but you lose Baker Mayfield, and we've seen the franchises that struggle to get a quarterback. Baker Mayfield's probably going to give you a good enough record that you're like fighting for a playoff spot in that division. You're not going to have a top 10 pick. I would think the common sense move here is to just get him done, get him the money, keep Chris Godwin and Emeka Egbuka happy. They got Jalen McMillan. I think Tez Johnson, we've seen him make some plays. Got some decent weapons. I think Cade Otton's a pretty good tight end. I don't get why you'd even risk it. Side note, have you seen Ruben Bain Jr. and the work he's putting in, Deck, their first round pick?
You knew he was going to put that work in the moment he got drafted. No lineup in regard to his haircut.
Yeah.
And didn't look at the camera. Just grabbed the hat and kept walking.
Just walked straight onto the stage.
Tampa Bay got one when they drafted him.
For sure. And wearing number 3 as a defensive line or an outside linebacker. I think they have him listed as. You know, I don't like that, but that's just my boomer complaint. But I saw a video of him working after practice, and some like mental skills coach was like, this is pointless. This doesn't do anything. Thankfully, John Gruden called him out on that one. There is no shame in staying out after practice, working on technique, especially as an edge rusher. Hand placement, moves like that. Like, that's very encouraging to me. For someone to take that as and you know, slander it was brutal. But John Gruden called it out on Twitter. So that certainly made it a little bit of made me feel good about myself. Like, okay, me and Gruden, at least on one thing, have in common. That you can't slander a guy for going out there and trying to work on his craft a little more. Big thank you to all of our guests today that joined us on the show. Tyler Yaremchuk, Ben Raven, Alex Linebacker, Nick Anderson, Struddy, Speck, Cam Tate, and the 2-minute warning. If you missed anything, Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from, go check it out or head over to our YouTube channel, Sports 1440 AM. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Tomorrow on the show, we got Thirsty Thursday. We've got some special guests joining us in studio. Colin Livingston, an NFL guest, has confirmed that he will join us, Spec, and more. So make sure you keep it locked here on Sports 1440 all night, all morning, and then back with us. We'll give away some more Elks tickets. Right now, though, before we hand things over to Fox Sports and Blue Jays baseball, one final update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling your home, call or text Sean directly at 780-265-0165. Good night.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays in action. They currently trail the Tampa Bay Rays 7-1 in the top of the fifth. Mariners lead the Brewers 2-0. A's leading the Royals, but by that same score, both games in the first inning. Cards lead the Reds 2-0 in the top of the fifth. Giants lead the Guardians 1-0 in the middle of the sixth. The Yankees up in the Orioles 3-2 in the top of the fourth. And the Phillies lead the Marlins 3-1 in the top of the seventh. Finals today saw the Diamondbacks over the Red Sox 7-6. In extras, White Sox beat the Cubbies 3-0. Twins over the Braves 6-4. Mets over the Padres 4-2. And the Pirates over the Tigers 4-3. WNBA action right now. The Washington Mystics lead the Toronto Tempo 25-24 at the end of the first quarter. The Minnesota Lynx and Golden State Valkyries will be up next at 8. News from the sporting world is Dallas Wings rookie Ozzy Football missed the rest of the season with a knee injury. The Blue Jays have DFA'd Waldron, and Vita Vea agreed to a 1-year, $30 million extension with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Elsewhere, Trayvon Diggs signing a 1-year deal as well with the Seattle Seahawks. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440,
A Stingray radio station.
broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's